The stunning CEO's wife eloped with someone else. Woo woo woo, Yuhan, you've really messed me up. Why did you make me come back to China? You didn't even tell me in advance, and now they found me a wife. We've already gotten the certificate. What am I supposed to do now? How am I ever going to marry you? A young man, appearing to be about 24 or 25, stood on the street holding a phone, forcing out a few drops of tears and started to complain loudly. But the expression on his face, the more you looked at it, seemed to grow more and more obnoxious. The man wasn't exactly handsome, but he had a very appealing face, thick eyebrows, a determined look in his eyes. However, if he didn't have the look of someone who'd just been robbed of a few $100, his rate of turning heads on the street might have been at least 10%. But right now, his rate of turning heads was 100%. A grown man, crying like this, it was really. Call me auntie. A woman's voice came from the other side of the phone. Though her tone was a bit stern, there was a trace of concern in her voice. No, I'll call you Yuhan. Yuhan, you've totally screwed me over. Tell me, how are you going to make it up to me? The man insisted, not willing to give in. How have I screwed you over? Isn't it good that you're back to get married? What's so good about marriage? Isn't the girl pretty? She's pretty, extremely pretty. So why isn't it good? But she always has this cold expression on her face. Do you know? I've been married to her for 3 days, and not once have we even held hands. What the hell is this? Did I marry a wife, or did I marry an ancestor? The man became angry as he spoke, abandoning the pitiful expression he had been putting on earlier. Take it slow. Didn't you have patience when you were abroad? The woman's voice on the phone comforted him. When I was abroad, I was chasing girls. Now I'm back in China, I'm supposed to marry a wife. Are wife and are they the same thing? There's no difference, isn't it all for that thing? The man fell silent instantly. His aunt seemed to be more unruly than he was. Just stay in China. Didn't they give you something when you came back? Let us not talk too much, but surely they'll give you a big company, right? The Li family's business is so huge, and you're the first in line to inherit. Even if they are unwilling, they won't make things difficult for you, right? Bullshit. I shouldn't have come back. So what if the Li family is a big family? I don't care. Do you know what people are saying about me now that I'm back? They say I have a thick skin, that I'm not filial and still want to come back for the inheritance. Damn it, I wouldn't have come back if it weren't to take care of Grandpa. Why would I return to this country? Don't curse in front of me. The woman's voice became stern. As soon as she said this, the man immediately changed his expression. Yuhan, I was wrong. Tell me, where are you now? Can I sneak over to see you? I really don't want to stay here for another second. Do you know what kind of nonsense Grandpa arranged for me? Even on his deathbed, he found me a wife. You don't know where I'm staying now, it's like an ice cave. All I see every day is an ice mountain. You can't come over. Stay put in China. When I return next year, I'll add a nephew for you. I'll go back and give him a good hug. Yuhan, you can't do this. You tricked me into coming back, didn't you? Look at me, I'm all alone in China, with no one to turn to, no money. If you don't take me with you, I'll end up on the streets. You're the son of the Li family. Can they let you starve? Bullshit, the son of the Li family. Don't curse. Okay, I won't say it anymore. You don't know, after I came back, the Li family gave me a small company worth tens of millions, but it's already losing money. I don't even know if it's in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere by now. Then just sell it. You could make a few million. But I don't want it. Who wants that crappy company? Okay, I'll transfer 50,000 to your account. There isn't much to spend in China, so that should be enough for you. Just be good. I have something else to do, I'm hanging up now. Hello? The man shouted into the phone, but got no response. He had no choice but to hang up helplessly. Just be good, it's like I've just come out of prison. The man, named Li Qian, was 24 years old. He was the heir of the top Li family in Yangjing, but had no real standing. He had been taken abroad by his aunt, Yuhan, when he was young. With no roots in China, after his grandfather passed away, the Li family's wealth had nothing to do with him. In the end, he was left with a company that was losing money, which he didn't even bother to accept. What upset him the most was that, on his grandfather's deathbed, he had arranged a marriage for him. As soon as Li Qian returned to China, he was immediately dragged to the registry office to get his marriage certificate. They hadn't even had their wedding yet, but he was already married. After the funeral, he followed his wife to Jiangsu City, where they lived in a villa that his wife had bought. Walking on the street, Li Qian sincerely didn't want to go back to that house. His wife, Lin Yi, was, in his words, an extraordinarily beautiful woman. From the moment he laid eyes on her, Li Qian was stunned. Her ash-colored hair, slightly curled bangs, a stunning face that seemed almost unreal, and a body that perfectly matched the golden ratio, everything about her was flawless. But this woman was cold and distant towards him. They had been in Jiangsu City for 3 days, and in total, they had exchanged no more than 5 sentences. However, all journeys must end, and half an hour later, Li Qian found himself at the villa door. Son-in-law is back. Hello, Wang Mar. Wang Mar was Lin Yi's nanny, who had been with her for many years, taking care of her since childhood. Now, Lin Yi was the CEO of a company, probably with a considerable amount of money. How much exactly, Li Qian didn't know. He had heard that she was a strong woman in the business world. When Li Qian entered the villa, Lin Yi was sitting on the sofa, reading a magazine. Li Qian didn't know exactly what kind of business her company was involved in, but he occasionally overheard that it was related to fashion brands, and the magazines she read were mostly of that type. Don't you have work today? As soon as he came back, Li Qian immediately asked. To be honest, he did want to improve their relationship. Lin Yi had no flaws and fit his criteria for a spouse perfectly. It was just that Lin Yi had always been cold towards him. No matter how many times he tried, it felt like hitting a soft cotton pillow. Millimeter. Lin Yi didn't even look at him as she spoke, and her voice came out through her nose. Oh, honey, we're short on money lately. Can you spare some? Li Qian asked in a small voice. He was really upset. When had he ever asked a woman for money? Yuhan? Was she even a woman? But right now, he really had no choice. He had only $1 left in his pocket. Yuhan had tricked him into coming back to China, and he hadn't brought any money with him. All the money he had was managed by Yuhan, and his small savings had run out after some expenses. He, the heir to the Li family, one of the richest families in the world, was now asking a woman for money. Lin Yi found it quite ridiculous. Her parents had sacrificed everything to marry into the Li family, hoping to get close to such a big tree, but they never expected that the Li family heir she married would be a man who asked his wife for money. You're living off me, eating my food, staying in my house, and now you want money? Let me tell you, there isn't a penny for you. If you want money, go find a job. Lin Yi put down the magazine, said that, and headed upstairs. Li Qian felt his face flush with embarrassment. Being looked down on by a woman like this, he felt so humiliated. Yuhan, it's all your fault. Next time I see you, you'll see how I punish you. He could only endure the humiliation. Li Qian had long gotten used to it. Arguing with Lin Yi? Forget it. She was like an ice mountain, and he was already defeated. Find a job, huh? I don't believe that a living person can't make it through this. After muttering these words, Li Qian turned around and walked out. Son-in-law, it's almost lunchtime. Why don't you stay and eat before leaving? No need, I don't want people to keep saying that I'm always eating her food, living in her house, and still can't find a job. I'm not coming back. Lin Yi stood by the window, watching Li Qian leave, and fell into silence. This was the man she had married. What was the difference between him and a hooligan? He had crude behavior and rude speech. How was he worthy of her? At this moment, Lin Yi could easily list 100 or 1,000 reasons why Li Qian was wrong for her. As the saying goes, when you hate someone, every little flaw is magnified 1,000 times. Right now, Lin Yi's feelings for Li Qian were exactly like that. After who knows how long, Wang Mar's voice came from downstairs. Miss, it's time for lunch. At the dinner table, Wang Mar looked at Lin Yi's expression, still cold and indifferent as always. Miss, actually, your husband isn't a bad person. Wang Mar, if you have something to say, just say it. You've been with me for so many years, why do you still need to be so reserved? Linny said without even lifting her head. Miss, I just wanted to say that your husband is actually a good person. A couple of days ago, while you were at work, he helped me clean the room and said that since I'm older, I don't need to do heavy work. Even though I hope you can find a husband who can help you in your business, I still care more about whether he is good to you. I've seen how hard you've worked over the years, but I can't do much. I can only take care of your daily life. Since you two are already married, why can't you get along well? I think your husband is a good person and considerate. Okay, eat your meal. Don't talk about this anymore. Before Wen Mar could finish, Lin Yi immediately interrupted her. No matter how good Li Qian was, he was not good enough for her. Her man had to either be extraordinary or a genius. Li Qian, no matter how good in some aspects, was not worthy of her. Chapter 2, I really came here for the job interview. Damn it, where's the job? I can't be asked to carry bricks, can I? Li Qian, in the scorching heat, was walking along the streets of Jiangsu City. He passed by several job postings, but most of them were for restaurant servers, salespeople for real estate agencies, and some small companies looking for sales staff. In short, none of these jobs were suitable for Li Qian. Suddenly, as he passed a 30-story office building, he noticed a recruitment notice downstairs. Qingcheng International Group. Assistant in the Public Relations Department. Isn't he the PR department full of beautiful women? They even require proficiency in French and German. What? They also want a diploma from a prestigious university. Damn it, I never even went to school. What kind of diploma are they talking about? I only grabbed an MBA certificate when I passed by Harvard. Not sure if it's any use. What is the code on that thing again? ZZ339715. It was just past 2 in the afternoon. Although Li Qian was starting to feel a bit hungry, he could still hold out. To avoid facing the ice mountain at home, he decided to find a job first. Should he go to his aunt's place? Don't make me laugh. If no one is picking up, who knows where they are? Africa is so big, it wouldn't be easy to find them, even if there were thousands of people. Okay, let us try this company. With that thought, Li Qian headed inside. It was just the right time, and a number of people were starting to enter the office building. As he watched fashionable, cosmopolitan women walk past him, Li Qian thought living in a big city might not be so bad. In the places he lived before, he could walk for a whole day and not see a single soul, let alone meet so many elegant, sexy women. Hey, do you know which floor Qingcheng International is on? Li Qian approached two girls walking towards him and asked. The sign outside clearly stated that the recruitment was on the 13th floor, and Qingcheng International occupied 3 floors in the building. The two girls had a unique vibe to them, probably around 25 or 26. After glancing at Li Qian, they both smiled. Are you here for the job interview? One of them asked. Yeah. Could it be that you're both employees of Qingcheng International? Li Qian guessed, judging by their demeanor. Yes, we work in the PR department, one of the more mature women replied with a smile. Though both women were beautiful, there was no hint of arrogance in their expressions. Truly elite people are proud, but they never look down on others based on appearance. Li Qian found chatting with them quite comfortable, and they even offered to take him to the interview site. After a few minutes of conversation, Li Qian learned their names. The more mature one was called Chen Yarjing, and the other, a bit more reserved, was called Xu Qingqing. Both were regular employees in the PR department. One couldn't help but admire the high-quality people who came from big companies. They had great temperaments, and Li Qian even wondered if all the beauties in China were like this. Li Qian had seen a fair share of beautiful women abroad, but in front of these women, he felt something different. All right, we have to go to work now. Just wait here for a bit. After escorting him to the waiting area, the two women waved and left. Li Qian then realized that the recruitment fair was being held in a large hall, and there were already quite a few people waiting. Hey, are you here for the PR department as well? A guy suddenly asked as he walked up to Li Qian. The man was average-looking, slightly overweight, but his clothes were impressive. Even with Li Qian's limited knowledge of fashion, he could tell that the man's outfit, though not from a famous brand, was all handmade and probably worth over 100,000 yuan. Yeah, are you also here for the interview? Li Qian asked, somewhat puzzled. People like him surely wouldn't he be interested in a small assistant position in the company. Har har, yeah. But hey, which PR department girl caught your eye? The man continued, leaning in. Li Qian was taken aback by the question. To be honest, I'm really here for the job. I'm not after anyone. Come on, you've seen the 10 or so people here today, right? None of them are less than millionaires. Everyone coming to Qingcheng International is either here for the job or to take one of the PR girls home. The PR department's girls are top-notch in Jiangju. I'm after Deputy Director Su Xiaoye. Don't be shy, tell me who you're after. The man spoke with a look of understanding, which made Li Qian speechless. I really am just here for the job. Come on, don't be coy. There are so many girls in the PR department. We're not competition for each other. Just tell me who you like. The man refused to believe Li Qian, continuously eyeing him. Li Qian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. No one here was genuinely looking for work, which meant he had no competition, but being mistaken like this, he didn't know how to explain. I'm serious. I'm already married. I'm just here for the job. This time, Li Qian made a final explanation, hoping the man would get the message. This guy, are you joking? Wearing a shirt made by an Italian custom workshop, and you say you're looking for a job? Who would believe that? Working here for a year, you wouldn't even make enough to cover the cost of your shirt. Oh. Li Qian finally understood why the man had assumed he was after one of the girls in the PR department. It was because of the shirt he was wearing. Indeed, it was a handmade shirt worth over 100,000 euros. Usually, very few people recognized it, but it turned out that in this city, there were some real experts. Fine, if you want to say it, I want to ask. But Su Xiaoye is the one I like. Don't steal her from me, the man said, before walking off to chat with others, seemingly trying to find out if anyone else was interested in the girls. Li Qian was left feeling helpless. He really was here just for a job interview. Not long later, several women from Qingcheng International started arriving, and Li Qian realized that the city's most beautiful women were probably all working here. Please, all candidates, come over to collect your application forms. A sweet-looking girl at a table called out. Immediately, a dozen people obediently lined up to collect their forms. Li Qian followed suit and received his. Some companies don't require resumes instead, they ask for a basic application form with personal details and brief work experience. Of course, filling out a form wasn't enough. What mattered most were the follow-up assessments. After spending a few minutes filling out the form, Li Qian noticed that the others had completed theirs and were preparing to leave. What's going on with you guys? Li Qian couldn't help but ask the man who had talked to him earlier. Well, we've done our part. The follow-up assessments are something we want to pass, but we've submitted our information. We can just go home and wait. Hearing the man's explanation, Li Qian cursed inwardly, damn, rich people sure know how to play. Looking around the almost empty recruitment room, Li Qian felt embarrassed. Oh, excuse me, sir. Is there anything else you need? The sweet girl from earlier asked. She couldn't believe her ears. Wasn't the recruitment just a formality? Everyone knew that. Why was this guy still hanging around? It was also Qingcheng International's dilemma. Since they found out the recruitment fair had turned into a matchmaking event, they stopped caring too much about it and just sent someone over to collect the forms. To find real candidates, they had to search elsewhere. I'm here for the job interview. I want to be part of your company. Li Qian's statement was groundbreaking for the recruitment fair at Qingcheng International. When he said this, the girl was completely stunned, pausing for a few seconds. You mean, you actually want to attend the interview? She asked, unable to believe it. Yes, and I'm ready for any assessments you have. Okay, please wait for a moment. I'll go talk to the supervisor. Half an hour later, another employee from Qingcheng International came in to assess Li Qian. The woman was stunning, with an air of confidence that radiated from her. Her neatly styled hair and sharp features gave her a striking presence. Hello, I'm Su Xiaoye. Are you here to interview for the PR assistant position? She asked with a professional smile. Su Xiaoye, the one the man was after. She really was something. Li Qian couldn't help but compare her to his wife and realize they were quite similar in both looks and demeanor. Qingcheng International, what kind of company was this? Yes, I'm Li Qian, Li Qian introduced himself. Alright, let us start the interview. First, we'll test your French and German. Here are 2 test papers. You don't need to be fluent, just score 60 or above to pass. While Li Qian started his exam, outside Qingcheng International, a car pulled up. A beautiful woman stepped out, and someone immediately ran to hold an umbrella for her. President, you've arrived. The PR department just called and said someone came for an interview. Would you like to go take a look? PR department. Forget it. If Li Qian had heard this voice, he would have been shocked. It was none other than his wife. Who else in the world could have such a cold, frosty voice? Chapter 3, I know too much. It seems all the answers are correct. Su Xiaoye was looking at Li Qian's test paper, occasionally furrowing her brows and occasionally showing surprise. Li Qian had handed in 2 test papers, and not a single answer was wrong. Although these test papers weren't very difficult and passing them was of average difficulty, to get everything right, there was only one explanation: Li Qian had mastered both languages proficiently. Su Xiaoye knew how high the standards were for this recruitment process because she was the one who set them. Give me his file, Su Xiaoye said to her assistant. A few minutes later, she finished reviewing Li Qian's file, and her heart was slightly unsettled. There were no issues with his background, meaning if Li Qian passed the next assessment, he would officially join Qingcheng International. It had been a year, and no one had passed the standard assessment to get in. Get me his certification information, and arrange for Qingcheng and Yarjing to come over to give him the final assessment. Su Xiaoye made her decision. If this man really had the skills, she didn't mind letting him join, even though the PR department had never had a man before. Li Qian was stunned as he looked at the 2 girls standing in front of him, wearing sexy lingerie. This was the final assessment. It couldn't be testing a man's abilities, could it? Chen Yarjing and Xu Qingqing stood calmly, wearing very revealing outfits, yet their expressions were calm and professional, with polite smiles on their faces. Li Qian, you should know what Qingcheng International does, right? Su Xiaoye asked from the side. When Li Qian heard this, he felt embarrassed. To be honest, I don't know. You? Su Xiaoye hadn't expected such an answer. You came to apply for a job here and didn't even know what the company did? I'll explain it to you now. Our company is in the fashion industry. For the Milan Summer Fashion Week, we had 2 products shortlisted. Although we didn't win top positions, it's still the best result in China. Su Xiaoye was a little angry but couldn't express her frustration. She silently began to look down on Li Qian. How could someone not even know what the company does? He probably wouldn't pass this final test. Oh. What kind of attitude is that? Su Xiaoye was again angered by Li Qian's indifference. If it weren't for company policy, she would have thrown him out by now. Do you even understand basic professionalism? The Autumn Fashion Week is coming soon. Our company has a lingerie design we plan to send to Milan. However, it's still a little imperfect. Your task is to choose the design we're submitting for the competition and also provide modification suggestions. Su Xiaoye slowly explained. In fact, giving modification suggestions wasn't part of the test, but she wanted to make the task harder. What if Li Qian somehow picked the right design by accident? He was only applying for an assistant position. If an assistant could do the work of modifying designs, what would all the $1 million per year designers be doing? She hated Li Qian's attitude towards things, so she subtly made the task much more difficult. Oh, this. Li Qian hesitated. He could tell this final test was a bit difficult. What? Can't make a choice? Then I'll announce that you failed your assessment. It's not that I can't make a choice, it's just that I feel like there is something wrong with this test. I'm applying for an assistant position. I shouldn't have to know all this, right? Li Qian couldn't hold it in anymore and spoke up. Su Xiaoye kept looking at him with that strange gaze. This is Qingcheng International. If you're unwilling to answer, then I'll have to consider your assessment a failure. Su Xiaoye said coldly. Fine, you're in charge here. I guess the design to be submitted for Autumn Fashion Week is the one Qingcheng is wearing, right? Without hesitation, Li Qian spoke his answer. Everyone froze, including Su Xiaoye. Looking at everyone's expressions, Li Qian immediately knew he had answered correctly. Reason? It's simple. This year's Autumn Fashion Week, Milan International invited a very famous Hollywood star, who is also one of the judges. People who know her will understand she likes softer, lighter colors, and she dislikes back closure lingerie. Back closure lingerie makes women feel tense, which isn't good for development, especially when wearing a jacket in the fall. Also, sports performance must be considered. This one-piece design is great for sports. It's unrestricted. So, unless Qingcheng International is stupid, they wouldn't submit the back closure design for selection, even though that piece uses the latest nanomaterials. Li Qian rattled off a long list of professional terms, leaving both Xu Qingqing and Chen Yarjing stunned. Su Xiaoye barely maintained her composure. When Li Qian mentioned all those technical terms, Su Xiaoye suddenly thought, could this man be a designer? How else could he know so much? Since you've figured it out, you must have noticed the design has some flaws. Can you propose any suggestions for improvement? Su Xiaoye continued to ask. Actually, the design is already very good. It covers the skin perfectly without causing any discomfort. However, there is one thing that is not done well, and that is the brooch. The brooch is of an ordinary size. You've forgotten that autumn is the season Italians love to be active. An ordinary brooch could shorten their time for exercise. Especially that Hollywood star, she loves tennis and rugby. She can tell right away if a piece of clothing restricts her movements. So, my suggestion is to replace the brooch with a larger one, at least twice the size of the regular one. Everyone, except for Su Xiaoye and the two models, was dumbfounded. Upon hearing Li Qian's words, they were all stunned. You're a man, how do you know so much about women's lingerie? And you're just applying for an assistant position. The assistant position in the PR department is just a supporting role. Does it really require you to know so much? Su Xiaoye didn't know how to respond. Even though she wouldn't take his suggestions, what he said made perfect sense. Sometimes people just didn't think of it, but any woman should know about these things, right? Alright, congratulations, you're now part of Qingcheng International. Qingqing, Yarjing, take him to the PR department. HR will have him sign the contract. I'll go over there to give them a heads up. Su Xiaoye finished speaking and left the recruitment hall, and Li Qian had finally become part of Qingcheng International. Meanwhile, Xu Qingqing and Chen Yarjing had already put on their coats and came over to Li Qian. Li Qian, how did you do that? I think the big boss is probably really pissed off right now. Chen Yarjing immediately asked after walking up to him. Li Qian feigned ignorance and said, huh? How could that be? I answered the question. Shouldn't she be happy? Happy? You don't know how mad you made the boss with your attitude. Let me tell you a secret, when the boss is silent, it means she is angry. I swear, I really didn't know what the company did. You didn't know and still passed so many assessments. Also, I heard you graduated from Harvard. Honestly, how much do you know? Li Qian's performance today was so surprising that Chen Yarjing had a strong urge to dig deeper. Hey, I know a lot. I'm a man of many talents. I can go to heaven or earth, and there is nothing that can stop me. Bragging. Then tell me, what exactly do you know? Chen Yarjing gave Li Qian a look and said. Li Qian didn't immediately answer. He looked at Chen Yarjing and Xu Qingqing for a moment, then whispered, I also know that you two have really good figures. Chapter 4. Forget it, I found a job. The efficiency of Qingcheng International Group is indeed very high. After Li Qian entered the office, he quickly finalized the contract. Monthly salary is 6,000 yuan, with full attendance bonus and year-end dividend. Not to mention the 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund, the welfare benefits of a company of this level are definitely very good. Li Qian's office is in the Public Relations Department. The Public Relations Department is not the largest department in Qingcheng International, but it is the department with the most beauties. When Li Qian first came in, his eyes were almost blinded. There were more than 20 girls, each with her own advantages, some plump and some thin. The Public Relations Department is generally responsible for the company's public relations. For example, if the manager of a department wants to negotiate a business deal and is worried about not being able to get it, then the Public Relations Department's usefulness will be reflected. You can let the guests take advantage of some small things and drink with them, but there is no other expectation. Formal companies generally don't play with anything that is borderline. For these girls, appearance is their biggest advantage, and they are also good at speaking. With a monthly salary of more than 10,000 yuan, it is definitely worth the money. When Li Qian came, everyone seemed not very busy and were organizing documents at their desks. They need to know every client thoroughly, including their personality, strengths, and hobbies, so that the probability of success is greater. What is Li Qian's job? It is to serve tea and water to these girls and clean the office. Li Qian, help me take out the garbage here. Li Qian, have you brought the coffee I asked you to get me? It's in the vending machine over there in the corridor. What? No, you don't have to spend money to buy it over there. Just take my work card and swipe it directly. Li Qian, you're going to pick up a package later, right? Can you help me get some udon and pistachios from the supermarket downstairs? Just after getting to work, Li Qian finally experienced the feeling of being surrounded by a group of women. Indeed, men in the public relations department are rare, and it is obvious that Li Qian has become the guy ordered around by the women. Li Qian couldn't refuse. After all, it wasn't that tiring, just some minor troubles. But there would be some small benefits occasionally, such as Chen Yarjing secretly kissing Li Qian on the face after asking him to get her coffee. After only 2 hours of work, Li Qian found that he liked this job. These girls are not shy and wear more open clothes in the office. It can be said that this is a place that most people can't even ask for. In the president's office, Su Xiaoya came to report on her work after finishing today's work. President, today's task is almost complete, and the progress is even greater than the original plan. Currently, several wholesalers have signed contracts for autumn supply, and the quantity is about 100,000 sets. But there are few. Su Xiaoya began to report everything in detail. Lin Yi listened very carefully, and from time to time he took out a pen and wrote something on the paper in front of him. Serious women are the most beautiful. Lin Yi's expression at this moment was serious yet a little cold, and a very unique temperament had already emanated from her. When Su Xiaoya saw Lin Yi like this, her eyes were filled with envy. In the entire Qingcheng International, there is no one who does not admire Lin Yi. This is probably the legendary personal charm. After the report was completed, Lin Yi put down the things in her hands and said calmly, "Forget about those who didn't agree. Don't do PR for the time being. I'm worried that the employees will suffer from those old-timers. The autumn fashion show is still a few months away. After this week, I will give your department a holiday. You can take everyone out to play. The company will reimburse the expenses." As soon as Lin Yi said this, Su Xiaoya showed a happy expression on her face. The salary in the public relations department is not low, but it is also very tiring. Sometimes you may have to work overtime until late at night, which is really not good for these lively girls. It is a great thing that they can take a holiday to rest and the company reimburses all expenses. Okay, I'll go back and talk to everyone, and in the meantime, let them finish all the work on hand. Lin Yi responded indifferently, then lowered her head, not knowing what she was looking at. Normally at this time, Su Xiaoya would quietly leave the office by herself, but today, she seemed to have something to say. "Boss, I have one more thing I want to say." "What is it?" "Tell me." "Today, our PR department hired a new person, and I showed him the underwear styles we were going to enter for the fall fashion week." "What? That style is confidential, how could you?" After hearing this, Lin Yi immediately frowned. "No, what I took out is not yet perfect. The defective products we produced before have been modified now, right?" Su Xiaoya explained it immediately. "So that's how it is. Haven't you and Su Jin always been in charge of recruiting people for your public relations department? You don't need to say hello to me. That's not the reason. That person put forward a condition for our products. He said our underwear brooches are." Su Xiaoya repeated word for word what Li Qian had said today. Even though she was somewhat dissatisfied with Li Qian because of his bad attitude, she spent an entire afternoon considering Li Qian's suggestion. It seemed like a small matter, but it pointed out the shortcomings of the product just right. As long as it was beneficial to the company, she would definitely do her best. After Su Xiaoya finished speaking, Lin Yi fell silent. It was obvious that she was considering the rationality of Li Qian's suggestions. A few minutes later, a faint smile appeared on Lin Yi's face, so faint that it was almost invisible to ordinary people. "Very good. The company has adopted this suggestion. I didn't expect that your PR department could really find such a talent at the job fair. Give him credit for this achievement and give him a big red envelope when the dividends are distributed at the end of the year." Okay, then, President, do you want me to call him over to report to you in person? After hearing this, Lin Yi was somewhat tempted. She really wanted to meet such a talent, but when she looked at the watch on her wrist, she found that it was time to get off work. I'm off work today. Let's find a chance to meet him tomorrow. Good. Come and sign up, who wants to bring breakfast tomorrow? Li Qian yelled in the office and everyone gathered around. What does breakfast include? Soy milk, fried dough sticks, steamed buns, fried dough sticks, steamed dumplings, steamed buns, porridge. I want some xingjian, and a portion of soy milk. I want xiao longbao, no meat. When he got off work, Li Qian left with more than 800 yuan in his arms. This money was for buying breakfast tomorrow. Most people get up late in the morning, and breakfast is a luxury. If Li Qian could bring it, it would be great. Many people gave 50 directly, saying that the rest would be considered as Li Qian's tip. There is a way to make money. Li Qian feels that this money is too easy to earn. With a breakfast, he can probably earn 300 or 400 yuan. When Li Qian returned to the villa, Lin Yi had already returned. She was sitting on the sofa, reading a magazine, in the same posture as always. His whole body exuded an aura that said, "Keep away from strangers." Li Qian originally wanted to say hello, but he had to swallow it back. Wouldn't it be embarrassing to go and say hello to her? But found a job. Li Qian didn't say hello to Lin Yi, but Lin Yi spoke to Li Qian. There is no doubt that these words were spoken to Li Qian. What if I find it? What if I don't find it? Li Qian naturally wouldn't give a good answer to Lin Yi's obviously contemptuous tone. When looking for a job in China, the most important thing is a diploma. It's hard to find a job without a diploma. Come to my company tomorrow and I'll arrange a job for you in the security department. Lin Yi thought about this decision for a long time. Yes, she didn't like Li Qian, but they got married after all. This wedding was a mistake in itself, but she didn't have the courage to end it. She felt uncomfortable seeing Li Qian doing nothing every day. After all, Li Qian was a normal person with all his limbs intact. Why didn't he go find a job seriously? He is lazy by nature. What future can such a person have? Arrange a job for Li Qian, at least he won't have to ask her for money anymore. A grown man still wants to ask his woman for money. Lin Yi doesn't know how Li Qian came up with this idea. No thanks, I found a job and I don't need your pity. After Li Qian finished speaking, he turned around and walked upstairs. Chapter 5 Damn, Love Rival. Li Qian lives upstairs. Strictly speaking, he lives opposite Lin Yi. There's nothing he can do. They've been married for 3 days and they haven't even held hands. Does he still expect them to sleep together? The two of them don't look like a couple now, they are even worse than friends. Who told Lin Yi to dislike Li Qian and Li Qian to dislike Lin Yi? Two people who originally had no connection with each other would unexpectedly get married. If it had happened 10 days ago, Li Qian would not have dared to believe it. There was still some time before dinner, so Li Qian returned to his room and turned on his computer. After logging into a very special website, he immediately began to browse the information. It has been almost 10 days since I left. I don't know what the situation is like over there. Well, that's good. The team has completed 2 more S-rank missions. After reading it, a smile appeared on Li Qian's face. As if he had thought of something, he immediately took out his phone. This is not an ordinary phone, it is a satellite phone, so it is very convenient to call anyone. Yuhan, what happened to you? Where's the 500,000? The money hasn't been transferred to me yet. Li Qian was poor, so naturally he asked Qin Yuhan for money. Just call me aunt, forget it. Just be patient for 2 days. The team hasn't returned to their base yet. I'll pass it on to you when I get back. There seemed to be some noise from Qin Yuhan's side, but she was still very patient in explaining to Li Qian. Okay, I knew you were unreliable. Luckily I found a job and can earn some extra money. Li Qian made a small complaint, but Qin Yuhan on the other side seemed not to hear it. By the way, I want to tell you that the monk is injured. I have arranged for him to return home to recuperate for 2 months. He may go directly to Jiangju. You will take care of him when the time comes. Okay. Damn. How can that monk get hurt? Yuhan, what mission did you guys accept? This news surprised Li Qian for a long time. The monk was a tough guy in their team, with a body of iron and steel. Ordinary bullets could not penetrate his skin. Even such a man was injured, which showed how dangerous the situation over there was. What do you think? Even without looking, one could tell that Qin Yuhan gave Li Qian a cold look. Could it be you? Wait, let me take a look. After Li Qian finished speaking, he immediately opened the computer and took a look at the screen. Damn it, you guys took that SS level mission. You guys are crazy. You dare to take such a mission when I'm not here. After reading it, Li Qian immediately yelled into the phone. Basically, no one dares to take SS level missions. The team Li Qian is in is not the best in the world, so he takes such missions purely for the sake of excitement. We will cooperate with the Shadow Wolf team. After all, there is a commission of 50 million. Who wouldn't be tempted? You're obsessed with money, right? What happened to the Shadow Wolf squad? You're a bunch of ruthless guys. Stop it now. Do you hear me? Li Qian was angry. These people were too bold. They dared to take SS-level missions when he was not around. If they were not careful, they would ruin the entire team. What? Who said that our Shadow Wolf team is ruthless? Suddenly, another voice came from the satellite phone, also a woman's. The voice is not very sweet, but it is very attractive. After hearing this voice, Li Qian immediately changed his expression to a sly one, and then said coquettishly, "It turned out to be Sister Ingzi. If Sister Ingzi takes action personally this time, then there will definitely be no problem." Shadow, a top 10 assassin in the international killer list, even Li Qian would have a hard time telling who would win against her. Li Qian had known her voice through phone calls before, but there was no chance for them to meet in person. "Har har, little brother, you've become more and more sweet recently, but sister still likes your manly look just now. Oh, my stomach hurts, I need to go to the bathroom first." After Li Qian finished speaking, he quickly hung up the phone. Being targeted by this woman is bound to be bad news. Anyway, Li Qian is keeping his distance from her now. Since Shadow has come in person, Li Qian doesn't have to worry about this matter. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, he opened the door of the room and went downstairs. But just as I reached the stairs, I heard a man's voice. "Men? Why would there be men in the villa? Even Lin Yi's parents wouldn't normally come here, right? Har har, Xiaoyi, I haven't seen you for almost 4 years. I didn't expect you to have changed so much. You used to be such a crazy girl, but now you can become the president of a company. I am really impressed by you." The man's voice was very magnetic and comfortable to listen to. The moment Li Qian walked down, he saw 2 people sitting on the sofa. A Lin Yi, a handsome-looking man. The man had a light beard, which did not make him look sloppy at all. Instead, he looked more gentlemanly. Li Qian was not concerned about the man, but Lin Yi. Why? Because Lin Yi actually had a faint smile on her face at this moment. Damn it, I've been here for 3 days and I've never seen Lin Yi smile. What's up with this man who suddenly appeared? Yes, Li Qian knew that he and Lin Yi had no emotional foundation, but he also wanted to work on this relationship. After returning to China, he realized how happy it was not to have to live in the hail of bullets every day. From the initial resistance to marriage, he had accepted this reality after a few days, and he also wanted to try to change something. Lin Yi's attitude is the biggest key. "Brother Jujun, you're joking. You left when I was a junior. I wonder where you've been all these years." Lin Yi said with a smile. She hated being called Xiaoyi the most, but she did not have any resistance to the man in front of her. Instead, a rare smile appeared on her face. "Nothing much. My family made some arrangements. I have spent the past 4 years in the army." Chen Jujun looked at Lin Yi with indescribable tenderness in his eyes. "The army? The training there must be very hard, right?" There was actually a hint of concern in Lin Yi's tone. "It was indeed a bit hard, mainly because I was not in an ordinary unit, but in our country's special forces. After a year of high-intensity training, I was sent abroad or to the border to deal with some things. In China, it seems very quiet, but the border and abroad are very chaotic, and there are often inexplicable exchanges of fire. We must remain highly vigilant every day and stick to our posts with real guns and live ammunition." When Lin Yi heard what Chen Jujun said, a look of horror appeared on her face. In her country, she had never even seen a gun, let alone fought in a war. "Brother Jujun, can you tell me what happened over there? Is it dangerous?" Okay, Xiaoyi, if you want to hear it, I'll tell you. There are a total of 50 people in our team, all of whom are elites among elites. We often have to be stationed on the border between you and our country. You is very treacherous and often sends small groups of troops in disguise to harass us. The two sides exchanged fire several times, and one of our comrades in the team was unfortunately killed. The biggest battle was because we were harassed too much, so our captain decided to be a little ruthless this time and not let those guys go back safely. We were chasing after 100 people, but we didn't expect that they had set a trap. When we had chased them for about 10 miles, more than 1,000 enemies appeared all around us. We were surrounded, and even the radio signal was blocked. Our team of 50 people was isolated and helpless. Chen Jiajin is like an orator. Not only does he have rich facial expressions, but his voice is also very attractive. He seemed to have completely entered a certain state, and Lin Yi, who was standing next to him, inexplicably had some other emotions in her eyes when she heard Chen Jiajin say these words. We ran out of bullets, but we only killed more than 200 enemies, and more than 30 of our teammates had fallen. At this moment, I suddenly heard our captain shouting, and then I saw our captain rushing towards me. The next moment, a howitzer exploded next to me, and a large amount of dust directly buried me, and the captain was lying on top of me at this time. I saw the shocking wound on the captain's back. Large pieces of flesh and blood were blown open, and even the bones inside could be seen. It was the captain who saved my life that time. In the end, our reinforcements arrived, and only 3 people from our entire special brigade survived. I kowtowed to our captain heavily. It was him who gave me the chance to survive. I will never forget him in my life, and I will always. Shut up. Just when Chen Jiajin was brewing his emotions, a discordant voice suddenly came. After hearing this voice, both Chen Jiajin and Lin Yi frowned. Li Qian walked down the stairs with red eyes. He was barely a magnanimous person, and even though Lin Yi's attitude towards this man was hundreds of times better than his own, he didn't have any thoughts. But when he heard this man boasting about his merits and honors here, the memories buried in his heart slowly emerged. Har har, 50 people chasing 200 people. They were surrounded. In the end, they killed more than 200 people. The story is not written like this. Xiaoyi, who is this? Although Chen Jiajin was unhappy about someone interrupting his speech, he still controlled his emotions and maintained his composure in front of Lin Yi. Lin Yi seemed a little flustered at Li Qian's sudden appearance. After all, she is still a conservative woman. Since she is already married, she shouldn't get so close to other men, even if this man is someone she had a crush on at the beginning. He is. I'm her husband. Li Qian stood up and said something directly. After saying the word husband, Chen Jiajin's expression changed obviously. Sir, please respect yourself. Xiaoyi is a girl. You are insulting her reputation by saying this. I want you to apologize to Xiaoyi immediately. Chen Jiajin stood up gracefully and said something to Li Qian. Har har, apologize. Your name is Jiajin, right? How can you call my wife by her nickname? I order you to apologize to my wife right now, otherwise I don't mind kicking you out right away. Chapter 6, Bullshit. You? Chen Jiajin was choked by Li Qian's words and could only turn his head to look at Lin Yi. Brother Jiajin, he is really my husband, his name is Li Qian, and we are already married. Lin Yi almost said these words with her head down. It was obvious that it was still very difficult for her to say the word husband. This time, Chen Jiajin's face became even uglier. Damn, the slap on the face made a loud noise. However, Chen Jiajin was able to control his emotions and said with a fake smile, it turns out to be Mr. Li. What a misunderstanding. I'm sorry. It's okay for you to misunderstand me, but I don't want you to tell lies like that to my wife. She is simple and has not seen much of the world. She may trust you a lot, so she will believe whatever you say. Li Qian's emotions had not yet calmed down. It was only when he saw that Lin Yi seemed to value this man very much that he held back from saying anything unpleasant. Li Qian's words made Lin Yishuang's face turn red. Has she never seen the world? But Chen Jiajin frowned. Mr. Li, what do you mean by this? What do you mean? Those things you just said were all false. You made them up completely by yourself. Do you really want me to expose them? Mr. Li, I respect you as Xiaoyi's husband, but please respect yourself a little. You said that what I just said was all made up. Did my 4 years of military life go to waste? Xiaoyi, it seems that your family doesn't welcome me. I'll ask you to come out next time. After saying that, Chen Jijin turned around and prepared to walk towards the door. Seeing this, Lin Yi immediately stood up and said, Brother Jijin, don't take it to heart. He is just talking nonsense. I believe you. Lin Yi pursed her lips and said these words. And these words were like a bolt from the blue to Li Qian's ears. Chen Jijin smiled. Lin Yi was still the same Lin Yi who admired him back then. She would always stand on his side at times like this, even her husband didn't give her face. Li Qian also smiled, but there was so much bitterness in his smile. In my eyes, everything you said is just playing house. On the battlefield, no one is so great as to risk his own life to save his teammates. Please don't make yourself sound so noble and great. Everything you said is just a fairy tale. It only shows that you are an inexperienced recruit. Only someone who has never experienced any war would say such a thing. After saying that, Li Qian took out a cigarette, lit it for himself, then turned around and left the villa. When he just reached the door of the villa, he turned around and suddenly said, Lin Yi, I know you don't like me and are not satisfied with this marriage. If that's the case, then there's no need to continue. Doesn't China have a rule that you can't divorce within 3 months of marriage? Then, let's meet in 3 months. That guy named Jijin, let me tell you again, what you've been through is shit in my eyes. After saying this, his figure quickly disappeared at the door of the villa. For some reason, Lin Yi suddenly felt a pain in her heart, especially the expression on Li Qian's face when he said those words just now. It was so sincere that no one would doubt that what Li Qian just said was a lie, even though it seemed selfish. But the battlefield itself is a selfish place. What's wrong with being a little selfish in order to survive? It's not as noble as Chen Jijin said. Your life is valuable, but other people's lives are not valuable. And the words that Li Qian said when he turned around made Lin Yi feel like she was suffocating. What does Li Qian mean by this? Do you want a divorce? I have suffered so much injustice and I have never mentioned divorce. Why should he do that? Lin Yi was upset. Seeing that Chen Jijin was not in a good mood either, she said sorry and went back to her room. Chen Jijin felt that it would only add to the embarrassment if he continued to stay here, so he said goodbye to Wang Mar and left the villa. However, Wang Mar saw the hatred in his eyes. Although Wang Mar is an outsider today, she has lived for decades after all. Although Chen Jijin looks good, he gives people a very uncomfortable feeling. Sometimes Li Qian seems to be rude and reckless in his words and deeds, but he is the easiest person to get along with. She actually had a lot of say in front of Lin Yi, but after Li Qian arrived, she didn't say a word. She was no longer at the age to judge a person by first impression. Sure enough, after 3 days of getting along, Mother Wang felt that Li Qian was a very reliable person. Lin Yi's performance today really hurt Li Qian's heart. Aunt Wang didn't know whether what Chen Jijin said was true or not, but she believed that what Li Qian said must be true, because that was reality, a living reality, not fiction. After Li Qian came out, he smoked a few cigarettes in a row and unknowingly walked to the riverside of the villa. The entire villa area is surrounded by a small river, which makes it look very secluded. There is no need to think about going home for dinner. Since everything has been said, Li Qian will let it go soon. Didn't Lin Yi despise herself for being reckless, uncultured and unmotivated? To be honest, Li Qian has felt a little tired in the past 3 days. He was quite confident at the beginning. Since he had accepted the marriage, he would work hard to maintain it. But now he finally understood what Yuhan said before, feelings cannot be forced. Walking to the riverside, Li Qian found a place to sit down. The sky was gradually getting dark, and he didn't even know where to go next. The Li family. He no longer had any hope. Li Qian has not stayed in China since he was 10 years old. In his memory, his grandfather was quite caring towards him, but he has no impression of other people, including the so-called father. The old man passed away and he came back for this reason. It's funny to say that Li Qian still doesn't know who his mother is. I have lived in a small courtyard since I was a child, with only my aunt as my companion. When he was 10 years old, his aunt was just 14. The two of them accidentally ran away and never went back. It's not that they don't want to go back, but they can't go back. They met human traffickers, were trafficked to Thailand, and then sent to Siberia. He still remembered what happened at that time. In a cold place like Siberia, 2 people were secretly trained to become killers. After 5 years of fighting there, Li Qian and his aunt had no idea how much blood was on their hands. Fortunately, both of them survived. As Qin Yuhan became more and more beautiful, those people began to have evil intentions. Finally, two of them exploded, killed everyone in the base, and ran away. The two were seriously injured and climbed snow-capped mountains and crossed deserts. Sometimes they would catch a centipede from the desert, and Qin Yuhan would save it for himself to eat. At that time, in Li Qian's eyes, Qin Yuhan was the sky that supported him. Later, the two men fled for a whole year, killed countless waves of people who were chasing them, and finally came to Africa, a place where fists are everything and force is supreme. 10 years later, the two had their own mercenary team, and Li Qian also made a name for himself. Demon King, this is the name given to him by the mercenary team on the African savannah. He broke into a tribe alone, assassinated more than 30 people and escaped unscathed. No one else there could do this. But just a few days ago, Qin Yuhan suddenly asked him to return home because she received news that the old man of the Li family had passed away. Li Qian asked Qin Yuhan more than once who his mother was, but Qin Yuhan only said one sentence: "She is dead." Isn't it? There is not even a trace left in my heart. Is this any different from being dead? Father? Har, Li Qian never considered him as a father. Can a father watch himself being bullied by the same child? Thinking of this, Li Qian suddenly felt his nose a little sour. Like a fallen leaf, where is its final destination? Chapter 7 Tang Wan. At around 10 o'clock in the evening, Li Qian had already been standing by the river and smoked a whole pack of cigarettes. He hadn't eaten all day. He was irritated by Lin Yi at noon, and they completely fell out in the evening. Although living in the villa was an unprecedented experience for him, and he gradually came to like it, since he could not force it, why should he give up his last bit of dignity? Lin Yi does have the capital to be proud, but she is not a wimp either. Although Li Qian has lost his sense of shame after so many years of training, he still has a strong sense of self-esteem. Unless Lin Yi came and begged him to go back, he would never step into the door of that villa again. Just when Li Qian was about to buy cigarettes, he suddenly saw a car parked by the bridge, a fiery red sports car. This sports car worth about 3 million yuan was not enough to attract Li Qian's attention. What really attracted him was a woman standing next to the sports car. Wearing a fiery red leather jacket, her perfect figure is fully highlighted, and her whole body exudes a mature aura. Even with just one glance at this figure, Li Qian made his judgment that this was a top-notch woman. Wearing all red, he stood out against the sports car. If the villa wasn't occupied by wealthy people and there weren't many people around, it would have attracted a lot of attention. The woman skillfully took out a lady's cigarette from her pocket and lit it. She pursed her red lips and then exhaled a light puff of smoke. It was at this moment that Li Qian saw the woman's face. It was very white and delicate, with a high nose bridge and just the right amount of phoenix eyes. She was indescribably charming. However, her slightly wrinkled brows showed that she was not in a very good mood at the moment. "Beautiful lady, can I borrow a cigarette?" Li Qian walked over and said something with a smile. Li Qian acted frivolously because he was attracted to this beautiful woman. When abroad, they often dated women in bars. They called this behavior hunting, and today Li Qian wanted to go hunting for the first time after returning to China. The woman seemed not to have heard anything and continued to look straight ahead, without making any response to Li Qian's words. But is Li Qian the kind of person who gives up just because he says so? It is obvious that this woman is in a bad mood at this time. According to his many years of experience, this is the easiest time for other men to take advantage of the situation. When he came to the woman, Li Qian suddenly found that she was very tall. With her high heels on, she was almost 180 centimeters taller than him, or at least over 175 centimeters tall. "Beauty, what are you looking at?" The woman still didn't respond. "Beauty, your high heels are so beautiful, can you tell me where you bought them?" Cluck. The woman finally responded and laughed softly. "That's right, you look very pretty when you smile, much prettier than just now." Li Qian was not polite at all. He leaned on the railing and stood face to face with the woman. "I have to say, your pickup skills are pretty lame." The woman's voice was very pleasant to the ear. To a love veteran like Li Qian, he could even hear a different kind of charm in her voice. "Skills are not important, success is enough. My name is Li Qian, what's the name of the beauty?" "Logan." The woman did not refuse and directly said her name. Logan? Well, what a good name. It suits you very well. Li Qian exclaimed sincerely, this name is indeed very good, at least on the same level as Lin Yi. Li Qian often heard names like Wang Cuihua and Wang Dafeng abroad. Now he felt that names like Lin Yi and Tang Wan sounded enjoyable, not to mention that both of them were absolute beauties. Seeing Li Qian's expression, Tang Wan frowned and asked, "You don't know my name?" "I know, Logan, didn't you just say that?" "What about before?" "You didn't know before." Tang Wan was very surprised. In this villa area, there were very few people who didn't know her name. Even in Jiangju, people with some status would surely say, "So you are Miss Tang Wan. Nice to meet you." Tang Wan once thought that the man recognized her, so he wanted to come over and talk to her, but looking at his expression, it seemed that he didn't know her before. "Oh, do I have to know this before?" Li Qian was a little puzzled. Is this woman famous? He had only been back home for a few days, and only 2 or 3 people knew her. If you live in this villa area, you must know this. When Tang Wan said this, there was a hint of pride in her tone. "I do live here, but I didn't know it before." Li Qian was really embarrassed to say this, after all, it would embarrass the beautiful woman. However, Tang Wan's tone when she spoke just now was too confident. "Does everyone in the world really have to know your name? Then why did you come over to chat with me?" Tang Wan was surprisingly not angry. In fact, she was just testing and finally came to a conclusion. That is, Li Qianjin didn't know her, so this time he approached her. "Can't I borrow a cigarette from you?" Li Qian pointed at Tang Yang's hand and said. "These are ladies' cigarettes. Are you used to them? When there's no cigarettes, I can even roll up leaves and smoke them. What do you think?" As soon as Li Qian finished speaking, Tang Yang threw the cigarette in her hand into his arms. He opened it skillfully and lit one for himself. Very light, with a subtle minty scent. For someone like Li Qian who is used to smoking strong cigarettes, this smell is actually very unpleasant. Seeing Li Qian's expression, Tang Wan smiled and said, "Why, aren't you used to it?" "A little, but I need cigarettes now, so I'll just make do with it." After hearing this, Tang Wan smiled without saying anything, turned around, opened the car door, took out a pack of men's cigarettes and handed it to Li Qian again. "Take this." "Huh? You actually prepared this kind of cigarette?" "My husband smokes it." "Well." Li Qian didn't expect that this woman was already married. No wonder she looked so mature, she turned out to be a young woman. "What? Judging from your expression, you seem a little surprised. Or maybe a little disappointed." Tang Wan seemed to know a lot about men, and sometimes she could tell what they were thinking just by looking at their expressions. "Disappointed? Why should I be disappointed?" Li Qian asked back. "What's disappointing is that a young woman like me is not so easy to be coaxed into bed by you, right? I don't have such thoughts. I came here today simply to borrow a cigarette from you." Of course Li Qian would not admit it. Just kidding. If he admitted it, he would look so disgusting. "Really? I'll give you the cigarette. I'm leaving now." After saying that, Tang Wan opened the car door and prepared to get in. Li Qian took a look and realized that this woman was really leaving. Thinking of this, Li Qian went straight to the car door and blocked it with his hands. "Okay, I admit it. I just want to pick you up. Do you want to give me this chance?" "Damn it, you've already said it out. Even if I admit it, what can I do? We don't know each other anyway. Let's just go all the way." Chapter 8: Lin Yi's helplessness. When Li Qian said such blatant words, there would generally be 2 situations. If the woman had an idea, she would just agree and say, "Handsome guy, get in the car," and then the 2 of them could go do what they were supposed to do. If the woman was disgusted, she might just slap Li Qian and then drive away. But Tang Wan belongs to the 3rd type. She laughed. He, little brother, I'm not that easy to woo. Why don't you tell me your identity first, and then I'll consider whether to agree to it." "Identity? What identity? I just had an argument with my wife and I was upset. I just wanted to find a place to vent. Do I need an identity for this?" Li Qian said in confusion, "Does dating a beautiful woman in China still require this kind of procedure? I've never heard of it." The woman stretched out her slender fingers, slowly grabbed Li Qian's shirt, and gently stroked Li Qian's body a few times. Li Qian was so excited by this action that he thought something might happen between them. Suddenly, Tang Wan said, "This is a handmade shirt from Missy Workshop, and it's a limited edition this year. You can wear a shirt worth 280,000 euros. Do you think I believe that you just want to date me? Your sincerity is not enough. I have something else to do tonight, so I won't play with you." Well. Li Qian watched Tang Wan drive away, then looked at his clothes. Damn, am I that high profile? This dress is basically unrecognizable abroad, but it has been recognized twice today. Well, so what if he recognized me? There's one thing you don't know, my buttons are real diamonds from South Africa. After Li Qian finished speaking, he continued to squat by the river with a cigarette in his hand, bored. Once words are spoken, they can be taken away. If he says he won't go back, he won't go back unless Lin Yi comes to beg him. Look, he is waiting for Lin Yi to come and beg him. It's okay if she doesn't beg, but just saying sorry will be fine, right? But just waiting is not a good idea. Li Qian suddenly thought of someone, and then made a phone call with a smirk on his face. "Hello, father-in-law, yes, it's me, I'm Xiaoqian." "Nothing, it's just that Xiaoyi had a friend over today, his name is Jijin." "Chen Jijin?" "Yes, that's Chen Jijin. That guy didn't like me, so I had a quarrel with him. Maybe Xiaoyi has a good relationship with him, so she helped him to say a few words to me. Father-in-law, I'm really not complaining. I know Xiaoyi is not happy with this marriage. Do you want me to go to the Li family to talk to her? Anyway, I didn't do anything to Lin Yi, so let's part ways in peace. I know this is what Grandpa meant, but things are in our hands. We can't make ourselves suffer because of an old man's last wish. You don't know, I haven't eaten all day today, and I'm still outside in the cold wind." "No, it's not her fault. It's my fault, really." Okay, don't be angry with her. No, there's no need for her to apologize to me, let alone come to pick me up. I'll just stay by the bridge for a while." Finally, after hanging up the phone, Li Qian had a look of success on his face. Well, he suddenly realized that his wife was still good. Having an affair with someone outside was not only difficult but also risky. Just make a phone call to Lin Yi's father and everything will be solved. At this time, Lin Yi was in a daze in her room. After Li Qian left, she didn't eat dinner either. Perhaps the words Li Qian said and the expression he showed touched a soft spot in her heart. In short, she felt very upset. 2 hours had passed and Aunt Wang had brought the food to her room, but she had no appetite at all. Just at this moment, her cell phone suddenly rang. If it was someone else, she could just hang up, but the words Lin Zheng were displayed on the phone screen. Yes, she did not note her father as Dad, but his name. "What can I do for you?" After the call was connected, Lin Yi said something coldly. "What on earth are you doing? You've already married Li Qian, why are you still associating with Chen Jijin? Even if his Chen family has some strength, so what? Can it compare with the Li family? Lin Yi, do you dislike me and want to destroy my Lin family?" A man's voice came from the other end of the phone, and he started scolding Lin Yi. "Brother Jijin and I are just. Just what? Brother Jijin, I'm telling you, don't contact Chen Jijin anymore. Once you become the daughter-in-law of the Li family, you should stay here honestly. You can let Li Qian manage all the company's affairs, and just stay at home and be a good lady. Why? I have worked so hard for so many years to develop this company to this point. Why should I hand it over to him?" Hearing this, Lin Yi's anger also burst out. Just because he married her? Just because he was a member of the Li family? Was he going to give up the fruits of her hard work for so many years? In her heart, Lin Yi silently added, "Is he worthy?" Why? Because you are now the young lady of the Li family. You are a small company with tens of millions of dollars and less than $1 million in working capital. How dare you say that? What's wrong with less than $1 million? I built this up bit by bit. Your Lin group is big, but isn't it inherited from my grandfather? Lin Yi retorted without backing down. Are you going to piss me off to death? Fine, I don't care what you say. In a word, go apologize to Li Qian right now and ask him to come back to me. I'm discussing a big deal with the Li family. If the news between you and Li Qian gets out, not only will the business be ruined, but my Lin group will also be in trouble. The Li family is more than just money. It's not that simple. Lin Yi's father found that harsh words were of no use, so he had to start explaining the pros and cons. But Lin Yi is also stubborn, and if she says she won't go, she won't go. It's best to let the Li family know. Anyway, I never agreed to this marriage. Lin Yi, please let me beg you, okay? As your father, please let me beg you, okay? Even if you feel wronged, just bear with it for a while, it will be considered as helping me. I can't help you with your business. What do you want from me? Can I kneel down and beg you? No need, I don't want it. Xiaoyi, just help your dad this time. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from the other end of the phone. When Lin Yi heard it, tears flowed down on the spot. Mom, Good boy, I know you've been wronged by this matter, but what can I do? It's my fault. Mom, don't say that. It's not your fault, really. It's my fault. I was willful. I promise you, I will go and find him. If he doesn't come back, I will beg him. As she spoke, Lin Yi's tears began to flow. He could ignore anyone's words, but he couldn't care less about his mother's words. Just because she was a girl and her mother never got pregnant again after giving birth to her, the old man of the Lin family found a younger wife for Lin Zheng. Although the law does not allow it, the Lin family is rich, so what does this matter in order to give birth to a boy? Sure enough, the second wife soon gave birth to a boy for Lin Zheng. From then on, Lin Yi no longer had any status in the entire Lin family, and her mother was also implicated. Otherwise, she would not have been so helpless in the marriage and directly married Li Qian. It can be said that Lin Yi's aggressive personality when she was young was influenced by these environments. But later, she became more mature and more reserved, and she would no longer easily express some emotions. But today, she couldn't help it after all. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi looked at the scenery in the distance through the window and vaguely saw a figure beside the bridge. Li Qian, I really underestimated you. For a man to be so stingy, you are even more spineless than I thought. Chapter 9. How is my Xiaoyi? Lin Yi currently has only one solution, which is to call Li Qian back. Yes, she admitted, even if she looked down on this man, he was still someone she couldn't afford to offend. The Li family is a name that makes the Lin family tremble. Although Li Qian's status in the Li family does not seem to be high, and it is even unlikely for him to get money from the Li family, no one can ignore that he is the eldest son of the Li family. If the Li family knows about it, even if it is just for the sake of the Li family's face, this matter will explode and cannot be resolved peacefully. Li Qian was standing not far from the villa and could see what was happening at the door. When Lin Yi opened the door and walked out, he had a smile on his face that showed he had succeeded in his conspiracy. However, when Li Qian saw Lin Yi rushing towards him with an angry look on her face, he still felt very uncomfortable. Li Qian, what on earth are you going to do? Do you think I, Lin Yi, am easy to bully? Do you think that just because you are a member of the Li family, you can play with me at will? Lin Yi came in front of Li Qian and immediately started yelling at him. At this time, Lin Yi's eyes were a little moist, and she felt unprecedented grievance. Why would this man humiliate me like this, run away from home, and I have to come here and invite him back? What does he take himself for? Hey, it doesn't make sense for you to say that. What's going on with that man at home? Do you think I, Li Qian, am easy to bully? I'm still at home, and you're so unscrupulous. If I'm not at home, I'll be cuckolded. Li Qian was in a very bad mood after being scolded by Lin Yi right away. Since he called Lin Yi's father, it has already reflected one thing from the side. He has bowed his head, and he just needs Lin Yi to come over and give him a way out. He can pretend that this incident never happened. If he wanted to take revenge on Lin Yi, why did he do this? He left directly. I believe that after the Li family knew about it, the entire Lin family would be uneasy. It can be said that Li Qian has taken great care of Lin Yi, but he just wants to retain a little self-esteem while doing so. Is there anything wrong with him doing this? Unexpectedly, Lin Yi came up and said nothing, and immediately started yelling. What? Her voice is louder than mine. There's nothing going on between me and Brother Jijin, you're talking nonsense. When Lin Yi heard what Li Qian said, she immediately began to refute it. Yo, you keep calling me Brother Jijin. Do you still have me as your husband in your eyes? Lin Yi, I originally thought that this matter should be forgotten, but now I realize that I was wrong. I always thought that even if we don't have any emotional foundation, since we are married, things will always improve after spending some time together. No matter how cold you have been to me these past few days, have I, Li Qian, said anything? Now that we have spoken, I am not the kind of person who will stick to you. You are not interested and I am not interested. Let's say goodbye now. After saying that, Li Qian turned around and walked forward without stopping. Li Qian no longer had any extravagant hopes for love. Maybe Lin Yi felt uncomfortable just by seeing him and wanted to lose her temper when she saw him, but it was not like he was unwanted. Seeing Li Qian leave without any hesitation, Lin Yi panicked. Yes, she now regretted her action just now. She came out and yelled at Li Qian without considering the consequences at all. Li Qian left today, and the Li family might get the news tomorrow. If this matter gets out, the Li family's eldest son was kicked out by his own wife. Where is the Li family's face? For any big family, face is more important than anything else. Lin Yi had no doubt that after the Li family took action, it would be difficult for the Lin family to die, and they would be in a state of neither life nor death. She ran forward like mad, running in the direction where Li Qian left. She wanted to get Li Qian back. This time she would never lose her temper again. Even if she had to kneel down and beg him, she would get Li Qian back. However, she could not find any trace of Li Qian. When she was distracted, Li Qian had already strode out of the villa area. Mom, I'm sorry. Lin Yi whispered into the phone. She did not put all the blame on Li Qian. She said that she was too impulsive and could not help but say a few words to Li Qian. As a result, Li Qian left angrily and she did not find him. Upon hearing the news from his daughter, Lin Jing almost threw the phone on the spot. He even wanted to scold Lin Yi, but he couldn't help himself after looking at his wife beside him. Even though Lin Jing married a second wife, he still loved his original wife very much. Well, I'll think of a way to deal with Xiao Qian. It's already late today. Go to the villa tomorrow and have a good talk with Xiaoyi. Ask her to put away her temper. Her little pride is nothing in the eyes of the Li family. After saying that, Lin Jing left the room. He couldn't sleep tonight. Li Qian walked onto the street, wanting to find a place to vent his anger, but suddenly the phone rang. Li Qian felt embarrassed to not answer Lin Jing's call. Xiao Qian, where are you now? As soon as the call was connected, Lin Jing asked. Nowhere, just wandering around on the street. Since he had completely broken up with Lin Yi, Lin Zheng was no longer his father-in-law, and Li Qian spoke in a casual tone. But this already made Lin Jing feel very satisfied. Even though his daughter treated him like this, he didn't get angry with him or hang up the phone. Which road is it? Xiao Qian, I know everything that happened just now. Xiaoyi was wrong. How about I, as her father, apologize to you on her behalf? No, please don't. You are my elder, how can you apologize to me? Besides, this matter is not entirely her fault. Maybe it was a mistake for the two of us to be together. Since it is a mistake, it is a good thing not to continue. What Li Qian said this time was true. Xiao Qian, why do you have such an idea? Let me ask you, how is my Xiaoyi? What do you mean? Looks, body shape. That's true. Isn't that right? I'm not bragging, but it's probably not easy to find a girl like my Xiaoyi in this world, right? That's true, but does it have anything to do with me? Li Qian admitted that Lin Yi was definitely a one-in-a-million beauty with a great figure and a stunning appearance. But there is no feeling between the two of them when they are together, it's like they were enemies in their previous life. It's good enough that they don't fight when they meet. Why not? You'd never find such a good wife. I believe that no one in the world can match you except Xiaoyi. You two have just been together, so you need a period of adjustment. After all, you two have never been in love. How about this? I'll take you to Jiangju to play tonight and send you back tomorrow. How about that? I promise Xiaoyi won't be the same as before. No need for this, it's already late, so as not to disturb your rest. Li Qian said this against his will. He only had 800 yuan on him and staying in a hotel in Jiangju would cost about 300 to 500 yuan. He also had to bring breakfast for the girls from the company tomorrow, so he couldn't spend this money carelessly. If Lin Jing comes over tonight, do I still have to spend my own money? What time is this? I usually go to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. Report your current location to me. I've already set off and I should be there soon. Faced with Lin Zheng's strong request, Li Qian finally agreed. I am here. Chapter 10. Ginger is still spicy with age. Comfortable and refreshing. In a bath center, Li Qian and Lin Zheng were soaking in a large pool, and several waiters were giving them massages. After Li Qian and Lin Zheng met, Lin Zheng brought Li Qian here. Of course, it was not for doing anything else, but just to relax. Xiaoqian, Xiaoyi is still young. You should be more tolerant of her in the future. As a father, I would like to thank you in advance. How about that? Lin Zheng started to praise Li Qian at this time. In order to get Li Qian to go back, he dared to say anything. No way, she is very sensible, it is me who is not sensible. Li Qian knew that Lin Zheng was trying to get him to go back, but he really felt that the environment was not suitable for him, so he did not agree. Xiaoqian, from what you said, you blame me. No, absolutely not. Then why are you still angry with Xiaoyi? As her father, I have come to apologize in person on her behalf. My lord, be magnanimous. Apart from her strange temper, isn't my Xiaoyi a good person in other aspects? After several phone calls and today's chat, Lin Zheng gradually figured out Li Qian's temper. That is, this person would not act unreasonably, which is completely different from some young masters from aristocratic families. This is why he dared to say these words. Everything else is fine. Uncle Lin, I won't beat around the bush. Do you know how long Xiaoyi and I have been married? 3 days, not counting the night we came. But do you know what kind of life I have led in these 3 days? I didn't ask two people who had just met to do anything intimate. After all, I still have some patience. But that day, in front of everyone in the Li family, she didn't even let me hold her hand. Do you know how I felt at the time? Although I don't have a high status in the Li family, I am also a man. It's fine to be laughed at by a group of brothers and sisters, but even my own wife looks down on me. Tell me, what do I want from such a life? As Li Qian spoke, he squeezed out a few tears, which made people feel that this child was really suffering. Xiaoyi is going too far. Xiaoqian, you've been married for 3 days and you haven't had sex yet. When Lin Zheng heard this, he was still a little surprised, but he couldn't say too much wrong about Lin Yi. Sharing a room. How could I dare to think of such a luxury? I just want her to be nicer to me, not to have a stern face when seeing me every day, and if she wants to date other men, just don't do it in front of me. After all, I also know that I am a dispensable person in the Li family. Xiaoqian, stop talking. I promise you today that if Xiaoyi dares to do this to you again after we go back, I will break her legs. The more Lin Zheng listened, the uglier his expression became. This was a slap in the face. What do you mean the Li family is dispensable? You are the prince, and it is true that you have no status, but can someone who is on the Li family tree be dispensable? If you are dispensable, then what is my Lin family? No, forget it. Anyway, your daughter hasn't suffered any loss since we got married. At most, I'll just stay in the villa for a few days. If she wants to ask me for rent, I have nothing to say. I'll give it to her after I get my salary in a month. The more Li Qian spoke, the more pitiful he sounded. He was almost about to cry and put a bowl in front of him, saying, please have pity on me. Xiaoqian, you are slapping me in the face, but what about the salary you mentioned? What else could it be? Your daughter doesn't like me and thinks I'm just wasting food at home. So I asked her for some change to buy cigarettes, but she ridiculed me. I have to spend money anyway, so I can only find a job first. Ridiculous. A joke. Xiaoqian, I have a card here. The password is 6 sixes. There's not a lot of money in the card, only 500,000. You can spend it first. I will transfer 1 million to your card every month. It will be your pocket money. To be honest, Lin Zheng knew that their relationship was not optimistic, but he did not expect it to be so pessimistic. Is Lin Yi really like this? How much money can Li Qian ask for? How much can he spend on the most expensive cigarettes? If he wants money, why don't you give it to him? As long as he is still in the Lin family and is the son-in-law of the Lin family, he will only make more money. Seeing the card handed over by Lin Zheng, Li Qian hesitated for a long time but finally did not take it. It's not that he doesn't want to answer, but he is embarrassed. Uncle Lin, I don't accept gifts without merit. Your daughter and I can't be together anymore, so how can I take your money? Who said that? My Xiaoyi and you have already obtained the marriage certificate. She will be your wife for life. You have indeed felt a little wronged these days. I promise you that this kind of thing will not happen again in the future. Tomorrow morning you can go back and live with Xiaoyi in peace. No matter what Li Qian said, Lin Zheng refused to give in. Just kidding, the cooperation between him and the Li family is at a critical juncture. If it succeeds, the profit will be close to 1 billion every year. The company in Lin Yi's hands is worth only 10 or 20 million at most. Compared with the Lin family's industry, it is nothing. After a while, they went for a foot massage, took a sauna, and rested in the guest room at night. When he woke up, Lin Zheng had already left. Li Qian looked at the time and it was around 7 o'clock. He sighed secretly, thinking that the older he got, the wiser he got. Yesterday, Lin Zheng seemed to have done nothing to make him angry, and today he left quietly again. It was obvious that he would not have the nerve to go back. Looking at the bank card in his hand, Li Qian suddenly became confused. Lin Zheng was a businessman, and Li Qian had no idea how many times he had dealt with such a person. He was only interested in profit, and there must be other reasons why he was so nice to him. He was just taking advantage of his status as the eldest son of the Li family, but he didn't care about it at all. However, Lin Jing handled the situation very well. He did not blindly give benefits to Li Qian, nor did he blindly ask Li Qian to do anything. He left quietly in the morning, as if Li Qian had to make all the decisions on his own. But now that things have come to this, what decision can I make? If Lin Yi still does things based on her own preferences and feelings, then Lin Zhang has already surpassed this level. A person who controls a company worth billions is definitely not an ordinary person. Let's go buy breakfast. The girl from the company is still waiting for me. Li Qian packed up a little and walked out. Let us not talk about whether to go back to the villa for now, the promised breakfast must be delivered in time. There are still some relatively ancient places in Jiangju. Li Qian hung out here for a few days and happened to find an alley. Many indigenous residents come out here to have breakfast, and the breakfasts here are generally from old brands that have been around for more than 10 years or even decades. Li Qian fell in love with this place after eating there once. Today, when he brought breakfast to the girl in the office, he naturally chose to buy it here. Li Qian's memory is very strong. Even if more than 20 girls in the public relations department asked them to bring breakfast, he was able to remember them all. I asked the boss for a cardboard box, and then started buying things like crazy. Soy milk, noodles, pan-fried dumplings, steamed buns. The box weighed more than 30 kilograms. Li Qian carried the box and got on the bus, heading to the company. But as soon as he arrived at the company, he ran into Su Xiaoye head-on. Today, Su Xiaoye was wearing a light pink OL uniform, which showed off her perfect figure. However, after seeing Li Qian, she immediately shouted in a hurry, "Li Qian, come with me quickly. The president should be fine now. Come with me to meet her." Chapter 11. The company is too big and lost. Minister Su, are you kidding me? Li Qian stood at the door of the president's office, and the news he received was that the president would not come to the company today. Su Xiaoye was also very confused at this time. Since Lin Yi founded this company, she has never been late for a single day. Su Xiaoye also knew that Lin Yi would usually make a cup of coffee when she came to the office at this time, and it was also her freest time. It was precisely because she knew Lin Yi very well that she pulled Li Qian to the office. Unexpectedly, after encountering such a thing, Lin Yi did not come to work for the first time in her life. In that case, it's none of your business. You can leave. Su Xiaoye ignored Li Qian's complaints and turned around and left after she finished speaking. Forget it, a great man should not bear grudge against a small man. Li Qian was quite helpless, because the other person was the leader. Walking into the office and distributing breakfast to everyone, Li Qian finally witnessed what madness means today. These urban beauties usually get up late, so how can they have the chance to enjoy breakfast? Li Qian originally bought some buns for himself, but after a while, he found that there was only a cup of soy milk left in front of him. "Brother Qian, do you still drink soy milk?" Xu Qingqing came to Li Qian with a red face. She was the first one to get breakfast, and after a few minutes, she had finished it. Seeing Li Qian absent-mindedly holding a cup of soy milk, she immediately walked up to him and asked him a question. With that tone and expression, how could Li Qian bear to say that he was still drinking? "Well, I've had breakfast. If you're not full, take it and drink it." As soon as Li Qian finished speaking, he found that the soy milk in his hand had disappeared. They are not a group of goddesses at all, they are simply starving ghosts reincarnated. I haven't eaten for 3 meals, I'm hungry too. Although he was a little hungry, Li Qian could still bear it. After all, he had experienced not eating for 3 to 5 days before. Now he might as well go through it again. However, he had calculated in his mind that he would buy a little more in the morning next time. After all, it was enough for himself to eat, so it would be no problem to buy enough for 2 or 3 people. Perhaps the breakfast Li Qian brought was particularly delicious, or perhaps everyone was really hungry, and soon all kinds of noises were heard throughout the office. The goddess is aloof in front of strangers, but manly in front of acquaintances. Everyone in the public relations department is very familiar with her, so there is nothing to be shy about. I've had a bite, do you want some? Don't talk nonsense, bring it first. 1 bun is enough for 2 people, and the most important thing is the xylomb babo. Although office workers have good salaries, who would have thought that having breakfast is such a luxury for them? Li Qian's job couldn't be simpler. He just needs to open documents and organize some information. In the rest of the time, he will play games on his office computer. He plays all kinds of games, but never plays online games, only stand-alone games. Because online games involve real-person PK, no matter how you play, you will encounter trolls. There is no need for Li Qian to be unhappy about playing the game. In the blink of an eye, it was noon. Susiaya still hadn't shown up in the office, and all the girls in the public relations department were sitting there. None of them went out. In Li Qian's memory, doesn't he the public relations department have to go out to discuss business frequently? Curiosity prompted Li Qian to ask Chen Yarjing, and after hearing what Li Qian said, Chen Yarjing looked at him in disbelief. Didn't you receive the news just now? Our public relations department will be on holiday for 5 days next week, and everyone is busy sorting out the information they have on hand. Received the message? Where? Li Qian asked back. It's the terminal on your computer. Our office computers have an internal system. Any information will be transmitted through the terminal, and everyone should have received it. Is there? My computer doesn't seem to have it. Li Qian turned his computer screen, as if he wanted Chen Yarjing to see it. When Chen Yarjing looked at Li Qian's screen, she found a Gobang interface and was immediately at a loss whether to laugh or cry. You play games on the computer? Yeah, I'm done with my work and have nothing to do. But you can't play games. The company has regulations. Besides, all their computers here are monitored. If the elder sister finds you playing games, you're done. No way, I'm just playing a single-player game, what else can she say? It's different. Big sister is very strict with us. The company must follow the rules. You should close the game immediately. The terminal is the avatar in the lower right corner. It's like a chat tool. You can chat on it, but it's usually Big Sister who uses it to post important information. Chen Yarjing kindly reminded Li Qian. Regarding their Big Sister, Chen Yarjing mentioned, Li Qian thought it should be Susiaya. That woman looked cold, as if everyone owed her 200 yuan, but her figure was indeed impeccable. However, Li Qian still turned off the game. But when he opened the terminal, he found that there was not only a public message on it, but Susiaya actually sent him a private message. Come to my office right now. In a word, Li Qian looked at the time. Damn, half an hour had passed. Yarjing, let me ask you something. What's your eldest sister's temper like? For example, if she wants to talk to you about something and you're late, what will she do? How could we be late? Big sister's words are like an imperial decree. Who among us dares to be late? This one sentence made Li Qian feel like he had fallen into an ice hole. Damn it, why do other people's terminals always get prompts when they receive messages, but mine doesn't? Come in. A somewhat unfriendly tone was heard from Susiaya's office. Li Qian opened the door carefully and took a look inside. Susiaya had her back to him, so he couldn't see the expression on her face. Minister Su, here I come. Oh? When did I ask you to come over? 9 o'clock, it seems. It seems. I asked you to come here at 8:57. Do you know what time it is now? 9:40. Li Qian, I think you are talented and quite suitable for our company's requirements. But let me talk about your attitude. I won't talk about your attitude on the day of recruitment. What's going on today? Can you find an excuse? Susiaya was very angry. She originally wanted Li Qian to bring some information over, but she didn't expect Li Qian to be more than 40 minutes late. She had no choice but to go there in person. I actually have this excuse. The company is quite large and it took me a long time to find your office. Li Qian touched his head and said something. You? Su Xiaye was suddenly choked, her little face turned red with anger, her body was trembling slightly, especially a certain part, which became extremely magnificent. The atmosphere between the two of them could be said to have reached a very tense situation, but at this moment, Su Xiaye's phone rang. She didn't have time to be angry with Li Qian, so she immediately answered the phone. What? How could this happen? Immediately control all the people present. I'll rush over right away. After saying that, Su Xiaye hurriedly hung up the phone, picked up her bag on the desk, and walked outside. But when she walked in front of Li Qian, she suddenly stopped. Can you drive? Yes. Well, come with me. Regardless of whether Li Qian agreed or not, Su Xiaye simply took his hand and walked outside. Chapter 12. I can drive, but I don't have a driver's license. Li Qian didn't know why Su Xiaye looked so anxious. Su Xiaye's car was a Honda with good performance. After Li Qian got in, he started it skillfully. Are you kidding? A man who has driven a tank can't drive a car? Go to Hongmao department store. While Su Xiaye was busy making various phone calls, she started to tell Li Qian the address. To be honest, Li Qianjun didn't know where Hongmao department store was. Fortunately, there was a navigation system in the car. After all, it was not easy for someone who had only been in Jiangju for 4 days to find a place. President, I've already been there in person. If you're busy, you don't have to go there in person. According to the feedback from them, the situation is not serious. I can handle it. The first call Su Xiaye made was naturally to Lin Yi. Yeah, okay. I do have something to do today and can't get away. Sorry for worrying about the things over there. Lin Yi was actually very anxious after hearing about the company's affairs, but after looking at the people around her, she really couldn't leave. Mom, I've already admitted my mistake in this matter. What else does he want? I can't do anything if he doesn't come back. At most, I promise you that I will never be angry again if he comes back. Okay? Lin Yi was acting coquettishly with a beautiful woman beside her at this time. This kind of scene would surprise not only Li Qian, but even people who were familiar with Lin Yi would be surprised after seeing it. In everyone's mind, Lin Yi has a cold expression, but she actually acts like a spoiled brat. If there is anyone else in the world who is worthy of Lin Yi showing the look of her little daughter, then it would be no one other than the person next to her. The beautiful woman's face was full of love and concern. She was very happy to see her daughter snuggling in her arms like when she was a child. But today, there are some things she must say. She doesn't have any feelings about the Lin family, but she has to help her husband. Xiaoyi, your dad just called me and said that Xiaoqian will definitely come back today. It's mainly because of your attitude. I know you are not young anymore and have your own ideas, but since you two are already married, you should do your duty as a wife. I don't expect you to be a traditional wife who only does laundry and cooking at home, but you should at least be more attentive to your husband. I saw that you two are married but still sleep in separate rooms. If you spread this, When the beautiful woman said this, a helpless look appeared on her face. If Lin Yi wasn't so strong-willed, such a thing would never have happened. Mom, you have to give me some time to deal with this. He and I don't even know each other, and we're sleeping together like this? Mom, give me another month, and I'll try to get along with him. If I feel like we can still make it, then I'll be a real couple with him, okay? Lin Yi had no choice but to make a promise. Her mother had never forced her to do anything since she was a child, but she had done so twice recently. Marriage is one time, today is one time. She would not refuse any request from her mother because she still remembered the days when she and her mother depended on each other. A month is too long. You two have been married for 4 days. In fact, it is meaningless for you to do this. Do you think you can get a divorce just because you don't like each other? Even if the Li family doesn't mind, what about the Lin family? I know you have been wronged by this matter, but after all, the Lin family has raised you for so many years. No. It wasn't the Lin family who raised me, it was my mother who raised me. Lin Yi bit her lips tightly, but still spoke stubbornly. How about this, when he comes back tonight, I'll have a good chat with him. If we can get along, I'll let him stay in my room tonight, how about that? In the end, Linyi compromised and made a decision that she struggled with. Good. Mom, can I go shopping with you? Stay here for lunch. I haven't eaten with you for a few months. On the other side, Li Qian heard Su Xiaoya's voice on the phone. Although the voice was very low, his hearing was still very sharp. The voice on the other end of the phone seemed to have been heard somewhere before, but Li Qian didn't hear it clearly, so he couldn't guess who it was for a moment. President? Do I know him? Since he couldn't figure it out, Li Qian simply stopped thinking about it and started concentrating on driving. During the process, Su Xiaoya made a few more phone calls. In one of the calls, Su Xiaoya called the person sister. In short, Li Qian didn't know her. Just when the car passed a traffic light, Li Qian suddenly stopped the car. Su Xiaoya was thinking about other things and didn't pay attention for a moment. She leaned forward a lot and subconsciously grabbed Li Qian's hand. Hey, what's wrong with you driving? Why did you stop suddenly? After Su Xiaoya reacted, she immediately let go of her hand, tidied her hair and said, I don't want to stop either. Look ahead, the traffic police are signaling us to stop. Li Qian pointed to the front and saw a traffic policeman making a gesture to them to stop. When the traffic policeman saw the car stop, he immediately started walking towards them. Seeing that Li Qian stopped the car for a reason, Su Xiaoya didn't say anything else. The traffic policeman walked to the side of the car and Li Qian lowered the window. At first glance, she turned out to be a beautiful traffic policewoman. Well, at least she was a beauty with a score of over 95, almost the same as Su Xiaoya. Again, a cold face. Damn. Why are all the beauties in the world like this? Are women entering menopause so early now? Hello, can you show me your driver's license? The beautiful traffic policewoman's voice is also very nice, but what did she just say? Driver's license? How could I possibly have that? I just got my ID card when I went home. For more than 10 seconds, Li Qian did not make any move, and Su Xiaoya next to him became a little anxious after seeing this. Why are you hesitating? Hurry up and give her your driver's license, or tell her your ID number. She can find it too. Su Xiaoya was in a hurry. The company's matters were very important and she didn't want to waste even a little time on the road. This. Li Qian hesitated and couldn't explain it clearly. What is this? Take it out quickly. I need to get there within 10 minutes, otherwise things will be beyond my ability. I forgot to tell you one thing. I can drive, but I don't have a driver's license. Li Qian's words made Su Xiaoya want to strangle him to death, really, if she had the ability to do so. Chapter 13: A Stray Dog. No driver's license. Well, come with me to the police station. The beautiful traffic policewoman was not polite at all and immediately signaled Li Qian to open the car door and get out. Driving without a license will result in a fine of less than 3,000 yuan and detention for 7 to 15 days. Li Qian looked at Su Xiaoya, which meant what to do. Open the door or not. Open the door and get out of the car. Su Xiaoya couldn't just let Li Qian drive over there. After all, the license plate was from Qingcheng International. Once it was discovered, it would not be good for either the company or the individual. Companies like Linyi fear negative news the most. Once they are caught by their competitors, they may be suppressed to death. Li Qian had to listen to Su Xiaoya's words whether he wanted to or not. After opening the door and getting out of the car, Li Qian stood in front of the beautiful traffic policewoman. It was at this moment that he realized that this woman's height was really outrageous. Without wearing any height-increasing shoes, she was only a little shorter than him, at least 175 centimeters tall. Hello, beautiful lady. I was ordered by my superiors to do this time. It has nothing to do with me. The first thing Li Qian said was to distance himself from the matter. Su Xiaoya was about to get out of the car, and after hearing this, she almost bumped her head against the roof of the car. This guy is so abominable that he can even say such words. Originally, she was still thinking about using her own strength to resolve the matter as soon as possible, but Li Qian's words made her change her mind. She didn't get out of the car, but went straight to the driving seat. Bang. She closed the car door, then stuck her head out of the window and said, "Officer, this guy is driving without a license, so I'll leave it to you. Here's my driver's license. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first." As Su Xiaoya spoke, she took out her driver's license. As soon as she finished speaking, the car started. Yes, the car started and Su Xieye directly abandoned Li Qian. This scene happened so fast that Li Qian didn't even react to what was happening. By the time he reacted, the car was gone. After thinking about his own situation, Li Qian, who has such a strong psychological quality, almost despaired. He finally experienced the feeling of being abandoned again. For a moment, Li Qian felt that he had been living too lazily recently, which led to such a thing happening. Well, since she said so, take me to the police station. Li Qian did not make any excuses because he didn't want to do it at all. After experiencing that feeling, Li Qian finally realized that it was not that he didn't mind being abandoned as a child, or that he didn't mind the suffering caused by the Li family, but that he deliberately didn't think about it. Li Xingnan was in a bad mood today. She had just graduated from the police academy and thought she could be a police officer, but unexpectedly she was assigned to be a traffic policeman, under the pretext of training first. Even so, she is still full of energy because her dream since childhood is to be a police officer. Even if she is a traffic police, she still has a serious face and takes it very seriously. After seeing a car driving very fast, she immediately gestured for the other party to stop. She was just checking the driver's license according to the rules, but things took a turn here. It turned out that the driver did not have a driver's license. Without a driver's license, this is a criminal case. Li Xingnan suddenly felt a little happy. Is this a good start on her first day at work? Although she couldn't bear to see the woman abandon the man, it was because the man had a driver's license. It's just that the man was smooth talking at first, but suddenly became confused and depressed. For some reason, she seemed to have something in her heart stimulated. But she still said, "Follow me." Police station, this kind of thing does not require any procedures, just submit it directly. Please contact your family. You must pay the fine. As for detention, we will hand you over to the local police station. Li Xingnan took the man through a few simple procedures, and she also learned the man's name. Li Qian, like me, has the same surname as Li. Family? When Li Qian heard these two words, his heart became even more bitter. Do I have any family? Do they count? I only have one aunt, but I don't know where she is now. I have no family anymore, so I will pay the fine myself. Li Qianjun had never been so content before, and his mood had never been as low as it was now. After paying the fine, Li Xingnan prepared to send Li Qian to the nearby police station. After all, it was just a symbolic detention, and even the mobile phone didn't need to be confiscated. It would be a bit of an overreaction to keep him at the police station. But just as he reached the door, a man in police uniform came towards him. "Sister, why are you here at the police station?" Huh. The man looked to be about 22 or 23 years old, and his face still had the youthfulness of his school days. But when he saw Li Qian, he showed a look of surprise, and then he started laughing. "Isn't this Brother Qian? Why are you here at the police station? And with my sister?" The man said this with a smile, then took a piece of paper from Li Xingnan. "Driving without a license? Har har." When Li Xingnan saw her younger brother, she wanted to say hello, but she didn't expect that her younger brother seemed to know Li Qian, and his smile just now didn't seem very friendly. "Yuhan, do you know him?" Li Yuhan is Li Xingnan's younger brother, actually only 1 year younger than her. He is currently a young police officer. "Sister, you didn't attend the old man's funeral a few days ago, so you don't know that the person in front of you is our Li family's eldest son, Li Qian big brother." When saying the word big brother, Li Yuran emphasized the tone. "Are? You are?" For a moment, Li Xingnan felt embarrassed. She accidentally caught her brother. Li Qian responded indifferently. Li Yuran, who was standing next to him, snorted coldly after seeing this. Even at this time, Li Qian was still putting on airs. "Brother Qian, why are you so careless? You were caught driving without a license. Do you want your brother to bail you out so you don't have to be detained? If someone posts bail, this punishment can indeed be ignored." When Li Xingnan heard this, her eyes immediately lit up. "Yes, Yuran, you go and post the bail, and Brother Qian only needs to pay the fine. But it's a pity. We are all family, so it's only natural for me to do this. But Brother Qian is the eldest son of the Li family. If word gets out that he was bailed out by a small fry like me, it will inevitably be a disgrace to Brother Qian's status. Brother Qian should find someone of similar status to bail him out." After saying that, Li Yuran laughed loudly, walked inside, and no longer looked at Li Qian. From beginning to end, Li Qian didn't say a word. He had already seen clearly what kind of person Li Yuran was and what her attitude towards him was at his grandfather's funeral. Similarly, Li Xingnan also completely understood that her younger brother and the eldest son of this family did not seem to be very friendly. Yuran, what are you laughing at? Li Yuran, who had just walked into the door, immediately heard a voice. It was a female police officer who was about to be conquered by him. Although Li Yuran was only a police officer, he would intentionally or unintentionally reveal that he was from the Yangjing Li family and was only here for some experience. As a result, there were few people in the entire police station who did not flatter him, and this female police officer was one of them. Lily, I'm not laughing at anything. I just met a dog and suddenly felt like laughing. I just saw you talking to someone, weren't you? Have you ever heard of a stray dog? In my eyes, he is no different from a dog now. You are so bad. Chapter 14, Disheartened. Even if Li Qian heard what Li Yuran said, he wouldn't care. In a word, there are many people who don't like me, so who do you think you are? Li Qian never took a minor character like Li Yuran seriously, but now when he looked at Li Xingnan, he felt a little uncomfortable. Why, such a nice woman, is from the Li family. Yes, Li Qian now has no good impression of the entire Li family. He originally had a good impression of Li Xingnan, after all, she was a beauty. But after knowing her identity, that little bit of good impression disappeared instantly. Brother Qian, Yuran is not sensible. I hope you don't mind. Li Xingnan didn't know much about family affairs, but she had no other ideas, so when she heard that Li Qian was actually the eldest son of the Li family, her tone became much friendlier. It's okay, just take me to the police station first. Brother Qian, although I didn't attend Grandpa's funeral, I also know that you are married. Do you want to call your family to inform them? This matter is actually easy to discuss. Can't we just let them bail you out? Li Qian's marriage had shocked the whole of Yangjing, but it came and went quickly. As a member of the Li family, Li Xingnan was naturally aware of this matter. After all, he was the eldest son of the Li family, so the commotion would not be small. No. Xiaoyi, Mom is leaving first. You must remember what we agreed on, okay? Lin Yi's mother said something very gently before leaving. After lunch, Lin Yi also spent the whole morning shopping with her mother as she wished. At this time, she saw her off, except for feeling a little reluctant, but without too much regret. The Lin family is a large family, so naturally there are many rules. For example, it is impossible for Lin Yi to live with her mother now. Good. After sending her mother to the car, Lin Yi walked back to her villa. Thinking that she still had things to do at the company, she prepared to rush there immediately. After all, it was only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Auntie Wang, sort out the things we just bought. There are 2 sets of men's clothes among them. Please send them to his room. As soon as Lin Yi came in, she picked up her bag and prepared to go out. But just as she picked up the bag, she heard the ringing of a cell phone from inside. Is it a company matter? Lin Yi subconsciously took out her cell phone, but unexpectedly, there was an unfamiliar number on it. People of Lin Yi's level rarely receive harassing calls on their phones, so she finally chose to answer it. Hello, are you Lin Yi? A woman's voice came from the other end of the phone. Lin Yi sounded a little puzzled, as if this voice was unfamiliar to her. Yes, it's me. Then can you come to the Jiangning Street police station? Li Qian is here now and needs someone to bail him out. What? What did he do? Lin Yi was a little surprised when she heard the news. After all this time, Li Qian was actually taken to the police station. It's driving without a license, it's not too serious, all you need to do is bail him out. Fortunately, when Lin Yi heard that it was driving without a license, she suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was not a serious matter, otherwise the courage she had finally mustered might have collapsed in an instant. Okay, I'll be right there. Detention is actually similar to solitary confinement. Li Qian was sitting inside. He hadn't said a word since he came in. It seemed as if everything around him had nothing to do with him. There was no mobile phone signal in the room, so he could only play stand-alone games, but Li Qian had no time to think about that at the moment. I don't know how long I waited, but suddenly the door of the room was opened. I raised my head subconsciously and saw Lin Yi's face. Frowning, with a hint of disgust in his eyes. Come back with me. I won't be so kind to bail you out next time. Lin Yi said lightly. She was also stunned when she saw Li Qian for the first time. Why was this man curled up and hiding in a corner? When Li Qian raised his head, Lin Yi clearly saw a hint of grey in his eyes. What's wrong with him? Hearing that he could leave, Li Qian stood up, brushed past Lin Yi, and walked quickly outside. Lin Yi doesn't care about his life or death. The reason why Lin Yi came this time must be because Li Xingnan called her. But none of this matters. During these few hours, Li Qian has thought it all through. He wants to leave this place, leave completely and never come back. No one here has any common topics with him, and no one here cares about him from the bottom of their hearts. It seemed like a cold world here. Li Qian could not find any warmth here. Even if he wanted to make a fire, his hands would be frozen by the cold. Li Qian hadn't eaten for almost 2 days. Although he was very hungry, the cold feeling in his heart had made him numb. The moment his cell phone had a signal, he immediately made a call. Yuhan, tell me your location, now, right now. After answering the call, Li Qian said in a somewhat impatient tone. What's wrong? Did something happen over there? Do you want me to? Stop talking nonsense and tell me the location, do you hear me? Li Qian yelled. He didn't want to hear anything now. He just wanted to book a plane ticket and fly away immediately. Lin Yi followed behind Li Qian. Although she was not as fast as him, the distance between them was not very far, so she heard everything Li Qian said. What does it mean? This man is leaving? When did you start talking so much nonsense? I just want a position, did you hear me? For some unknown reason, Li Qian's voice became louder again, and even Lin Yi could see the impatience on Li Qian's face. Is this man going to get angry one day? Okay, I'll be there in 3 days. Li Qian hung up the phone without even looking back and walked straight forward. Jiangning Road is very close to Lin Yi's villa, and it only takes about 10 minutes to walk there. Li Qian walked very fast, and Lin Yi could only follow slowly behind him in the car. Arriving at the villa, Aunt Wang immediately greeted him and said, "Son-in-law is back." After saying this coldly, Li Qian walked upstairs without even looking at Aunt Wang. Lin Yi walked in from behind. Aunt Wang looked at Li Qian's back and said, "Miss, your uncle. I don't know what's wrong with me." Li Qian didn't have much stuff, so a suitcase was enough. It took him less than 5 minutes to pack everything. Just as he was about to see if anything else had fallen, he suddenly saw several bags on the bedside wardrobe. He remembered very clearly that these things were not his. I walked up and opened it, and saw that it was a set of clothes, and the most important thing was men's clothes. Is there any other man in the villa? No. These clothes are. Lin Yi bought it for herself. Chapter 15 Broken Company. Li Qianjun has already made up his mind to leave here because he feels very uncomfortable here. Although life here is relatively dull and not as crazy as outside, you are still in danger at any time. But there is also a fatal flaw here, that is, it is cold. Everyone here seemed to be hostile to him. Although he was powerful, he also had a sensitive heart. He didn't like such a place and hated it. But when he saw these 2 sets of clothes, he suddenly felt something in his heart. In this world, perhaps only Qin Yuhan would buy clothes for him. All of Li Qian's clothes were bought for him by Qin Yuhan, because Qin Yuhan knew his height very well and the clothes she bought for him always fit him well, including the one he was wearing. Seeing this, his hand movements suddenly stopped. Sometimes it may take a long time to make a person despair, but if you want to make a person despair, then a moment is enough. Yuhan, I want to think about it for a while. Well, no, I wasn't angry just now. After making the decision, Li Qian discovered a problem. He was hungry, very hungry. Auntie Wang, is there any food in the kitchen? I'm starving. Half an hour later, Li Qian was wolfing down his food, while Wang Ma and Lin Yi were looking at him in disbelief. This guy has eaten about 6 or 7 pounds of beef in the past half hour, not to mention the water he drank. Uncle, please eat slowly. When Aunt Wang saw Li Qian like this, she kindly gave him a reminder. Yeah, I haven't eaten for 2 days. I'm starving. What Li Qian said was a little unclear, but Lin Yi and Wang Ma still heard it clearly. Haven't eaten for 2 days. Even though Wang Ma and Li Qian didn't have a good relationship, she felt distressed when she heard this. She glanced at Lin Yi and found that Lin Yi seemed a little embarrassed. Isn't he it? I had a quarrel with Li Qian yesterday at noon, and until tonight, all we had was a meal, for 2 whole days. The meal lasted a full hour. Lin Yi's eyes were wide open at the end. She was wondering how much Li Qian could eat. Aunt Wang took out all the food in the refrigerator, and only then was Li Qian able to eat enough. "Uncle, are you full? If not, should I go buy something else?" Mother Wang was so shocked that she had seen people who could eat, but she had never seen anyone who could eat as much as Li Qian. Belch. Li Qian burped, then patted his chest, and finally took a sip of water. "Okay, I'm finally full." "What did you just say, Aunt Wang?" Well. Hearing Li Qian say that he was full, Wang Mar simply didn't ask any more questions, but she was busy next. "There is nothing left in the refrigerator, so I have to go out and buy some, otherwise what should I do if Lin Yi wants to eat?" After saying hello to Lin Yi, Aunt Wang walked out. Lin Yi and Li Qian were the only ones sitting in the room. "You just called, are you leaving?" The two were silent for a long time, and Lin Yi spoke to break the situation. "No. No way. So what do you mean by saying it will arrive in 3 days at the latest?" "No, I didn't say that, you heard it wrong." Lin Yi didn't believe Li Qian's answer, but she didn't dig deeper into it. After all, what Li Qian did had little to do with her, at least for now. How can you drive without a license? Since Lin Yi planned to have a good talk with Li Qian, she decided to start with this matter. It would have been fine if he didn't talk about this matter. As soon as he talked about it, Li Qian felt extremely angry. "It was that woman from the company. She told me to drive, but she was stopped by the traffic police halfway, and then she just left me and walked away." Li Qian talked about this matter. In fact, just after he thought it through, he didn't care much about it anymore. When Lin Yi heard this, she immediately frowned. She had never known what kind of job Li Qian had found outside. When she heard that Li Qian was driving without a license for company matters, she immediately thought of some shell company. It was obvious that Li Qian didn't even have any academic qualifications, so how could he possibly enter a formal company? "What kind of crappy company are you working for? I asked you to come to my company but you didn't want to. Even if you work as a security guard in my company, it's much better than that company you're working for, right?" To be honest, Lin Yi can't say that she has any feelings towards Li Qian now. She used to be dissatisfied, but after talking with her mother for a while, she slowly accepted the reality. Instead of being dissatisfied, she should let go of her little emotions and see how she gets along with Li Qian. As long as conflicts don't break out every 3 days, Lin Yi feels that she can accept it. Hearing Lin Yi say that her company was a broken company, Li Qian had nothing to refute. He knew that Lin Yi also had her own company, and the Lin family was also very wealthy. In comparison, his company was really not that good. "Our company is fine, but some people are a little bit petty." Li Qian didn't know why Lin Yi had changed so much today and could chat with him calmly. But this was definitely a good start. "You should resign now. I will arrange a job for you in the security department. It's an easy job with a monthly salary of over 4,000 yuan. Lin Yi thought about it and decided to say what she said last time. "More than 4,000. My current salary is more than 6,000, plus the year-end bonus, it's close to 10,000. Forget it. My company is pretty good and their work is easy." Li Qianjin didn't mean to reject Lin Yi. He really liked his current job. There were so many girls around. What's the point of being a security guard? Hearing Li Qian's repeated rejections, Lin Yi felt unhappy. She had already come this far, why couldn't he back down a bit? As for whether the two of them could continue the conversation, Lin Yi became unsure. "What's so good about your crappy company? Li Qian, I really want to talk to you and see if we need to be like strangers in the future, but I have arranged such a good job for you, why don't you want to?" Chapter 16. Chen Yarjing is depressed. Parting on bad terms describes the situation that just happened between Li Qian and Lin Yi. However, today can be said to be the day when Li Qian and Lin Yi talked the most. Li Qian once thought whether he could apply for the Guinness World Record today. After dinner, it was around 3 o'clock, and no one knew where Lin Yi had gone. Judging from her style, she must have gone to her company at this time. Li Qian couldn't just sit there idle, so he went to the company as well. "Hello, Yarjing. I haven't seen you for a few hours. You look beautiful again. Qingqing is fine too. Brother Qian missed you so much." "Yeah, hello everyone, did you miss me?" Normally the entire public relations department is quite dull because there are so many things to do, but since Li Qian came, things have become a little different. Do you know what I encountered on the way here? A woman chased another woman and beat her up, saying that the other woman was a mistress. There were a lot of people watching at the time. In front of Xu Qingqing, Li Qian began to speak. Sure enough, this sentence successfully attracted Xu Qingqing from her work state. Really? That mistress is too abominable. It's not good to just hit someone. Xu Qingqing said something, and it was obvious that she was still skeptical about things like this that appeared in the news. Yeah, I thought so too. The world is going downhill. They started beating people in the street, so I just left without looking back. It's the right thing to do. It's never a good idea to join in the fun. But I just took 2 steps and heard the group of people saying, "Quickly take off her pants and clothes." I couldn't help it and went back. Puff. Xu Qingqing really couldn't help but burst out laughing. Brother Qian, you are so mean. I didn't even realize you were telling me a joke. Xu Qingqing only realized at this time that this was not Li Qian's experience at all, but a story he made up. Hey, what do you think? Brother Qian, am I quite humorous? No, you're a pervert. Li Qian always shares some short stories he has read on the internet with everyone in the public relations department, and of course, he always adds his own understanding to them. As a result, the entire public relations department would occasionally burst into laughter, and then some girls would curse Li Qian with red faces. It was really that Li Qian didn't know what shame was and kept telling dirty jokes. The kind where you hear the beginning and never expect the ending. Ahem. There was a sudden cough, and the entire public relations department became quiet in an instant because Su Xiaoya came. No one dares to laugh in front of this cold-faced big sister, especially during working hours. I'm here to inform you of something. It's a last-minute decision. After get off work, let's go to the Haitian hotel. I've reserved 2 tables of food there. It's been a while since our department has had a meal together. Let's have a small gathering tonight. We still have 3 busy days ahead. The public relations department will be on holiday next week, and the next 3 days will be very busy, so Su Xiaoya thought of inviting everyone in the department to a dinner party. The PR department, which had been quiet just a moment ago, suddenly burst out with all her energy. Yeah, long life sister. Big sister, I love you. I want to give birth to a baby for you. There was no other expression on Li Qian's face. At this moment, he glanced and saw Chen Yarjing. There was something wrong in her eyes. She did not shout or yell like those people, but just lowered her head silently and looked at the computer screen. Li Qian didn't pay attention to Chen Yarjing at first. Until now, he began to pay attention to her, because Chen Yarjing at this moment was completely different from that in the morning. The vitality she should have had was gone. Even when he was joking with him just now, the smile on her face was so forced. After get off work, we went out to eat and everyone was in high spirits. When Su Xiaoya passed by Li Qian, she didn't say a word, but just gave him a gloating look. It was obvious that she felt that she had played a trick on Li Qian and felt very accomplished. Li Qian didn't care much about this kind of little woman's mentality. Although he was sad for a moment because of that incident, he was fine now. Haitian Hotel is a 4-star hotel in Jiangsu City, which is considered to be very good. Su Xiaoya booked a large private room this time, and the cost must have been close to 10,000 yuan. There was a group of people, and everyone turned their heads to look at them. Li Qian also discovered a problem, that is, it seemed that every beautiful woman in the public relations department had a car, except him, a man. Whose car is better to take? Seeing Chen Yarjing take out the keys from her bag, Li Qian immediately walked over and said, "Yarjing, how about I help you drive?" At this time, Li Qian completely ignored the fact that he did not have a driver's license. Chen Yarjing was not in the right mood and originally wanted to not attend the dinner tonight, but when she saw that everyone was so happy, she really didn't want to cause any unpleasantness because of herself, so she came over. Li Qian also saw this point clearly. If Chen Yarjing was allowed to drive in this state, she might get into a car accident halfway and not know what happened. Yeah, okay. Chen Yarjing responded expressionlessly. Chen Yarjing's car is a modern, relatively economical one. Almost everyone in the company drives the same car, except for Su Xiaoya, who probably has a lot of social engagements and whose car is a Honda worth more than 400,000 yuan. It is not far from Haitian Hotel, and it only takes about 10 minutes to get there. However, there was a 5-minute traffic jam due to the rush hour. Because we made a reservation in advance, the dishes were served in less than 5 minutes after everyone arrived. They are all women and generally don't drink much, but today Susaya still brought a few bottles of wine. A bottle of dry red wine that costs over 100 yuan is also a very economical cost-effective wine. Since Li Qian was the newcomer, he was the one to toast with the first glass of wine. After everyone had a glass of wine, Li Qian felt nothing at all. Just kidding, I used to drink red wine like plain water. Just when everyone started to eat, Li Qian, who was sitting next to Chen Yarjing, discovered a problem. That was that not only did Chen Yarjing not eat the food, but she was drinking continuously. After seeing Chen Yarjing drink 3 cups in a row in one gulp, he finally frowned. Eat some food and then drink. Li Qian used his chopsticks to pick up a piece of fish for Chen Yarjing, but he felt that it was not appropriate and immediately said, "I haven't used my chopsticks yet." Chen Yarjing's face turned slightly red. She glanced at Li Qian and said softly, "Thank you. It was a very enjoyable meal." There were both tough ladies and ladylike ladies, and both meat and vegetables were served at the table. Everyone said whatever they wanted to say, and with Li Qian's lively atmosphere, naturally everyone had a great time. However, Chen Yarjing kept drinking until Susaya noticed her. "Li Qian, please send Yarjing back later. She can't drive." They drank very little today, so it was no problem for others to drive, but it was impossible for Chen Yarjing, who was already lying on Shu Qingqing, to drive. "Well, I still have to go home. Besides, I've been drinking." Li Qian really wanted to go home, and at this time Aunt Wang must still be waiting for him to come back. "Are you still a man? Yarjing is in such a state, why don't you send her back? As the leader of the company, Stop, can't I take her back?" Li Qian finally agreed to it because he couldn't stand Susaya's nagging anymore. But when he saw Chen Yarjing almost collapsed into a ball, Li Qian began to worry. "Where does she live? Hey, don't leave, tell me where she lives first." Chapter 17 Black Dragon Armband. "Auntie Wang, there's no need to wait for him. Go and get some rest." Lin Yi walked down the stairs in her pajamas. It was already past 10 o'clock, and Li Qian still hadn't come back. Aunt Wang had already heated up the food several times, but she couldn't see Li Qian anymore. This was the 3rd time Lin Yi came down. She couldn't bear to see Aunt Wang waiting any longer. "It's okay. I'm old anyway and my sleep is light. Waiting a little longer won't be a big deal." On the other side, Li Qianjing was supporting the drunk Chen Yarjing, but he really couldn't drive. God knew where her home was. Although it was summer, the night was still very cold. After the two walked for a while, Chen Yarjing slowly regained some consciousness, but she still looked a little confused. "Huh? Why are you with me?" Chen Yarjing basically said this while leaning on Li Qian's shoulder. Smelling the fragrance emanating from Chen Yarjing, Li Qian was a little distracted for a moment. However, he knew very well that although Chen Yarjing was usually casual and often played with him, she had never done anything out of line. They all went home. "You drank so much and no one was there to take you home. I was the only one who could do hard labor for you." Li Qian turned his head slightly, but suddenly found that Chen Yarjing was looking straight at him. Because of the turn of their heads, their lips almost touched each other. When it comes to relationships between men and women, Li Qian has never been a self-disciplined person. He often goes to entertainment venues abroad. After all, in that kind of environment, if there is no place to vent, it is easy to become psychologically distorted. For example, every day you look at a pile of corpses, watch your teammates struggling to death in front of you, watch your teammates having their arms and thighs blown off, and see bloody scenes. It is undeniable that Chen Yarjing is a beauty, a mature and sexy beauty, but after just a moment, Li Qian turned his head away to avoid embarrassment. Seeing that Li Qian didn't dare to look her in the eyes, Chen Yarjing suddenly laughed. At this moment, Li Qian looked like a shy little boy. "Little brother Xiao Qian, do you think I'm beautiful?" Suddenly, Chen Yarjing blew a breath in Li Qian's ear and asked softly. Whoosh! Li Qian really couldn't stand it anymore. Chen Yarjing's 2 soft parts were always on his body. It was so uncomfortable. "Pretty. Why don't you dare look at me? Hey Yarjing, where do you live? I'll take you back first." He, "I live right here, brother, you didn't even know." After Chen Yarjing finished speaking, she pointed directly to an apartment building next door. Oh, right next to the company. Because Li Qian really didn't know where Chen Yarjing lived, he subconsciously took her towards the company. Unexpectedly, Chen Yarjing actually lived here. A few minutes later, Chen Yarjing opened the door of her room. It was a spacious duplex apartment with 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a large balcony. If you want to buy a house like this in Jiangju, you will need at least 2 million yuan. If you want to rent it, it will cost 5,000 yuan per month. However, the first time Li Qian came in, he felt something was wrong with this apartment. There is not only one person living here, there is another person, and he is a man. Li Qian thought about it and understood. Chen Yarjing is already 28 years old and must be living with her husband. Sister Yarjing, my mission is complete after I send you off. I will leave now. Just standing at the door, Li Qian didn't even think about going in. Chen Yarjing was changing into slippers when she heard Li Qian say this. She immediately asked, "What's wrong? Why don't you come in and rest for a while? At least have a glass of water." "No need. You have other people at home. It would be bad if someone misunderstood you. Is there someone else?" After hearing this, Chen Yarjing took a look inside. The ashtray on the table in the living room was still there, and a pair of men's slippers were next to it. Chen Yarjing came straight to Li Qian, grabbed his arm and walked inside. "There's no one else here. I'll be the only one living here from now on." Just as she said this, there was an indescribable loneliness in Chen Yarjing's eyes. Li Qian did not struggle and let Chen Yarjing pull him to sit on the sofa. "Want to drink?" Chen Yarjing took 2 cans of beer and placed one in front of Li Qian, while she opened it directly and drank it in big gulps. "Sister Yarjing, you should drink less. I can see that you don't seem to be in a good mood today. If you don't mind, I can be your audience. Some things will make you feel better after you talk about them." Li Qian reached out and snatched the beer from Chen Yarjing's hand. Only then did he realize that Chen Yarjing's eyes were already wet. The next moment, Li Qian suddenly felt a soft body in his arms, and then he heard Chen Yarjing's sweet voice. "Kiss me." Li Qian finally lost control of himself, and with Chen Yarjing so proactive, the 2 of them staged a scene of ups and downs in the living room. Chen Yarjing, 28 years old, can be said to be at the most attractive age. 10 days after Li Qian returned to China, he had sex with a woman for the first time. Afterwards, Chen Yarjing snuggled in Li Qian's arms and fell asleep quietly, as if all the unhappiness had disappeared. Li Qian lit a cigarette for himself. He didn't feel any guilt in his heart. He was just thinking about how to explain to Lin Yi when he returned. But he soon figured it out. Did he need to explain? It can be said that there is no emotional foundation between him and Lin Yi at the moment, and it is hard to say whether they can be together in the future. Li Qian glanced inadvertently and saw something in a corner of the sofa. When he stretched out his hand to take it, his originally calm expression disappeared instantly, replaced by a stern look. Even Chen Yarjing, who was lying in his arms, seemed to feel it and curled up slightly. "This is a piece of cloth, a piece of black cloth. There is a dragon embroidered on it." If Li Qian had not seen it before, he would never have thought it was a dragon because it was too abstract. "Black dragon armband." Yes, this is an armband, the kind that is usually placed on the arm and is often used in the military. Li Qian had seen the black dragon armband more than once. He even knew that the black dragon armband was only for low-level members of a certain organization. There were also the silver dragon armband and the gold dragon armband. "Why are you here? Could it be?" Li Qian glanced at the sleeping Chen Yarjing and shook his head secretly. This thing definitely couldn't belong to Chen Yarjing, so it seemed. Suddenly, Li Qian heard footsteps coming from the door of the room. The footsteps were very light and most people couldn't even hear them. Chapter 18 Dragon Soul. He gently placed Chen Yarjing on the sofa and covered her body with a blanket. Then Li Qian tiptoed towards the door. He did not open the door immediately, but stood at the door and put his hand on the handle. He could already feel that there was someone standing outside, and he could also sense a faint murderous aura. Just then, the doorknob moved. Li Qian's eyes narrowed, and the moment the door opened, he moved sideways and got out. When he saw a figure, he grabbed the other person's throat without saying a word. The other party obviously did not expect that the person in the room would have such strength. He was caught off guard and was actually caught by Li Qian. To be honest, Li Qian didn't expect that the opponent was not as strong as he imagined, and he couldn't even dodge his attack. Isn't he this person the owner of the Black Dragon armband? Li Qian began to grumble in his heart, but he did not forget to close the door, and then he carried the man directly to the stairs. Who are you? Li Qian asked in a deep voice. The man looked to be about 27 or 28 years old. He was good looking and had a masculine look, but his eyes looked a little gloomy. After the man found out that he was caught, he was not panicked at all. He was even a little angry when he saw Li Qian. Who am I? It doesn't matter. Who are you and why did you come out of Yarjing's room? The man began to question Li Qian. I can come out from wherever I want, what's it to you? Li Qian could feel that the guy in front of him was very arrogant, but his arrogance was completely misplaced. In front of him, even if you are dragon, you have to lie down. No business? I'm her husband, you'd better explain it to me, or I won't let you leave this building. Her husband? I don't know. When Li Qian heard the man say this, he actually felt a little guilty, so he immediately let go of his hand after he finished speaking. When the man saw Li Qiansong's hand, he immediately took out an ID from his pocket. I'm from Dragon Soul. I suspect you are involved in a military espionage case. Please come with me. The man turned hostile and took out handcuffs. Yo-ho. Li Qian grabbed the certificate, opened it and took a look. It was indeed the unique logo. Now he was sure that the Black Dragon armband in the room belonged to this man. Dragon Soul, wasn't that the name of that organization? When the man saw that Li Qian had a mocking look on his face, he immediately became even angrier. He had just broken up with Chen Yarjing and had been planning to come back to get some things and see if there was any chance for him to have something happen with Chen Yarjing again. After all, the two had been together before, although not many times, but the man was very obsessed with her. However, Chen Yarjing always kept him in suspense. After living together for 3 years, there were only such a few times. He was no longer satisfied, and given his situation, it was easy for him to find beautiful women, so he proposed a breakup. However, the girl he had a date with today broke the date, and he felt a little agitated, so he wanted to come to Chen Yarjing to vent. Anyway, he didn't care about this one time, and even if he forced himself, she would probably not say anything. But he didn't expect to find something wrong when he arrived. It turned out that a man brought Chen Yarjing back, and the two of them acted very intimate. This stinky woman, just one day after breaking up, was already in such a hurry to find another man. So he waited outside, but an hour passed and the man didn't show up, so he couldn't help but want to come in and take a look. He had already made up his mind that he would kill the man even if he had to fabricate a crime. The desire for possession was particularly strong in his heart, and he subconsciously believed that Chen Yarjing was his personal property, and even if he didn't want her, no one else could take her away. So he started by accusing the defendant of leaking military secrets and took out his ID. It can be said that ordinary mayors would respect this certificate very much when they see it, because the organization he belongs to is not under the jurisdiction of anyone. Seeing Li Qian's expression, the man immediately took out handcuffs from his pocket, but just as he was about to do it, Li Qian spoke. You'd better not take out the handcuffs easily, otherwise it will be difficult for you to take them back later. Li Qian spoke in a serious tone, but the other party pretended not to hear him. Snap. The handcuffs fell firmly on Li Qian's wrists. From beginning to end, Li Qian had a faint smile on his face. He was still a little afraid of the Dragon Soul organization. He had fought with them several times abroad. Although there were no casualties, the strength of those people with the Black Dragon armband was not weak, and they were about the same as the ordinary people in his team. Li Qian thought that since this man was from Dragon Soul, even if he had the lowest level Black Dragon armband, he should be able to resist him for 3 or 5 moves, but the other party didn't block a single move. Now that I think about it, the Dragon Soul isn't he that powerful? Let's go. You're going to take me for interrogation next, right? I wonder where your secret base is. Li Qian was surprisingly cooperative. He had never dealt with Long Hun since returning to China, so he took this opportunity to go and take a look. Humph, you are just being stubborn. Yes, you do have some strength, but I have to tell you that in the face of absolute power, your strength is not enough. Isn't it good enough? Just try it and you will know. Half an hour later, in an underground parking lot, the man brought Li Qian and locked him directly in a secret room. Then he left, apparently to do some preparatory work. Since he was fabricating a charge, it must be flawless. Li Qian took a look around and sat down with peace of mind. In Jiangju, some members of Dragon Soul didn't know how high their levels were, and he didn't know whether the ones he knew were here. Chapter 19 Gu Yushin. 1 Yuan, how could you do such a thing? I am your second uncle, but in the entire organization, I am just a small role. You actually want me to help you fabricate charges and frame someone? In an office, the man who arrested Li Qian was talking about something with another middle-aged man. It is obvious that someone of 1 Yuan's level was able to join Dragon Soul, and it must be because of connections, otherwise Li Qian would not have subdued him so easily. Uncle, you must help me with this. That guy actually dated my girlfriend. I really can't stand this. As long as you agree, it will be done. Once that guy dies, if neither of us tells anyone, who will know? 1 Yuan's tone was almost pleading. Of course, he was just pretending. The reason why he dared to bring Li Qian back was that he was sure that he could get his second uncle to help him. Otherwise, how could he, a small peripheral member, be qualified to convict others? 1 Yuan, you've made a big fuss this time. What if the news gets out? No, uncle. I promise I won't let anyone know. By the way, there's one more thing I want to tell you. My dad will be on a business trip tomorrow and may not be back for about a month. 1 Yuan took out his trump card. He knew about the dirty things between his second uncle and his mother, so he could use this incident to get him to help him. Sure enough, after hearing this, the middle-aged man's eyes immediately lit up. Thinking of his sister-in-law's coquettish figure, he suddenly felt a fire in his lower abdomen. However, he still said with embarrassment, "Okay, I will help you write the report on this matter, but this is only for this time. Don't do this kind of thing again in the future. Later, you will take the indictment and ask that person to sign it. Once it is signed, no matter who it is, there is nothing they can do to us. Okay, I promise to get this done. Name. Do I need to tell you?" Li Qian was dismissive of the questions from the guy in front of him. If anyone could interrogate him, wouldn't it be too embarrassing for him? Do you know where this is? This is the base of Dragon Soul. You'd better cooperate honestly. Maybe there is still a chance to get out. Otherwise. 1 Yuan didn't finish his words, but the threat was self-evident. Har har, didn't you just accuse me of leaking military secrets? You don't even know my name, yet you can say such things. It seems that you Dragon Souls are not that good. Hello, you don't want to tell me your name, right? Then don't blame me for torturing you. Come on, let's see who's afraid of who. Torture? Li Qian wanted to see what kind of punishment this so-called Dragon Soul could come up with. Seeing that Li Qian was too stubborn, 1 Yuan had no other choice. However, he was a cruel person. Torture? He was eager to do that. He wants Li Qian to suffer and confess his guilt at the same time. A few minutes later, 1 Yuan walked in with a syringe in his hand. There was some white liquid in the syringe, and Li Qian recognized it after taking a look. Concentrated aspirin. Li Qian revealed the contents of the syringe in just one sentence, and 1 Yuan's face looked a little ugly. How is it? Are you still stubborn now? After saying that, 1 Yuan waved the syringe in front of Li Qian. Although Li Qian was handcuffed at this time, 1 Yuan posed no threat to him at all. Aspirin is a medical drug, but if a person takes more than half a bottle, he will feel very uncomfortable and foam at the mouth. Although there are no injuries on the body, the pain is unbearable. Are you sure you want to use this? Are you scared? Har har. It was the first time that 1 Yuan heard Li Qian ask such a question, and he thought he was scared. I'll give you one chance. Send me out now and I can spare your life. 1 Yuan did not see the murderous look in Li Qian's eyes at this moment. Yes, he would feel irritated after seeing this potion. He did not forget how many times he and his aunt had been injected with this drug in Siberia. The purpose was to stimulate potential and do things that ordinary people could not do. In that kind of pain, one either chooses death or breaks through one's own limits. And the amount injected over there was at least 10 times what 1 Yuan had in his hand. Har ha har ha, you know what? This is the funniest joke I've ever heard since I was a child. I tell you, now just sit back and wait for the pain. After saying that, 1 Yuan took the syringe and inserted it directly into Li Qian's body. But at the moment when the needle tip touched Li Qian's skin, Li Qian took action. He broke the alloy handcuffs directly and grabbed 1 Yuan's neck. One can see the bulging veins on Li Qian's arms. People who are familiar with him know that he is a little out of control at this time. Li Qian himself doesn't have any major shortcomings, but he cannot be provoked. Maybe it was because his childhood experiences were too miserable, or maybe it was because he had taken too many lives and had a strong sense of violence, so once he was provoked, he would go berserk. After Yuhan took out the concentrated aspirin, Li Qian thought of his childhood experience. Snap. A trickle of blood flowed from the corner of Yuan's mouth, then his eyes rolled back and his hands fell down unnaturally. The devil will never be polite to anyone. If he says he will kill you, he will kill you. After throwing Yuan's body to the ground, Li Qian opened the door of the secret room and walked out. There was a surveillance camera in the secret room, and the scene just now had been seen by many people, so when Li Qian came out, there were already 5 or 6 people with real guns standing in front of him, all aiming their guns at him. Hee, are you the only ones? Li Qian made a disdainful sound. His eyes were a little red at this time. If Qin Yuhan was by his side at this time, he would definitely find an opportunity to give him anesthetics, but these people were not Qin Yuhan, and they did not know Li Qian's identity. What? You said our base in Jiangju City was destroyed. All the dozen or so staff members inside died on the spot. In a secret manner in Yangjing, a tall woman with long hair said this with horror in her eyes. Go and find out who has sneaked into the country. Once you find out, report to me. I will make them know the price of offending our dragon soul. After giving the instructions, the woman sat directly on the chair behind her. This news had such a huge impact on her that she couldn't imagine who had this ability. Although the base in Jiangju is not important and even has only a dozen peripheral members, it is not something that ordinary people can do. At this moment, the office door was opened again. Yuhan, how about I treat you to a movie? There's a new movie that just came out recently. A man's voice came over. Yuhan was worried. After hearing this voice that made her feel annoyed, she yelled, "Get out of here! Get as far away as you can." Chapter 20 Chen Yarjing's past. It was already past 3 in the morning when Li Qian returned to Chen Yarjing's place. Outside, he found a small river, washed his hands, and then washed his face. Now that he has calmed down, he feels a little helpless when thinking about what just happened. Of course, he would never feel guilty. He had killed countless people, both good and bad. If he felt guilty about everything, then there was no point in him doing anything else. Li Qian never portrays himself as a good person, because he knows that he is not a good person. After returning to Chen Yarjing's residence, Li Qian found that the door of the room was the same as when he left. He felt relieved, thinking that no one had come in. However, as soon as he came in, he saw Chen Yarjing sitting on the sofa. She had already woken up. Chen Yarjing knew very well what had happened between her and Li Qian. Although she was dressed neatly at this moment, the passion between them still remained in her heart. Originally, Chen Yarjing thought that Li Qian had left secretly. Although she felt a little disappointed, she also knew that this was a good thing. The two of them should just pretend that nothing had happened and remain friends in the future. But not long after she woke up, Li Qian came back. Li Qian was fine during this meeting, as he was thick-skinned enough. But Chen Yarjing was embarrassed. Well, I'll go back first. After saying that, Chen Yarjing walked down from the sofa holding the blanket. Indeed, she now lacks the courage to see Li Qian. But just as she was about to close the door, Li Qian's hand reached out. Sister Yarjing, I just met Yuhan. The reason why Li Qian knew this name was that he saw it on the man's ID. Upon hearing the name, Chen Yarjing trembled all over. How could you? He was just at the door, trying to come in when you fell asleep, but I saw him. Li Qian did not hide anything, that was the fact. When she heard that Li Qian had run into Yuhan, Chen Yarjing immediately asked, "Did he do anything to you?" "It's my fault. I shouldn't have let you come here." It was the first time that Chen Yarjing saw Li Qian so calm. She thought that he had suffered a loss at the hands of Yuhan, so there was some worry in her words. But Li Qian suddenly laughed after hearing it. "Sister Yarjing, can I ask you a question? Do you care more about me or him?" Li Qian's question was completely shameless, and Chen Yarjing felt even more embarrassed after hearing it. However, thinking about the changes in her relationship with Yuhan, she suddenly realized that she was subconsciously more inclined towards Li Qian. "Do you want to know the story between him and me?" Chen Yarjing was silent for a moment, and suddenly said something in a low voice. Half an hour later, Li Qian and Chen Yarjing sat on the edge of the bed, and Li Qian finally knew the relationship between Chen Yarjing and Wan Yuan. The two are indeed a couple, and the main reason is a cliched story of a hero saving a beauty. Wan Yuan was handsome and had good fighting skills, so naturally he won Chen Yarjing's favor. Chen Yarjing was the image of an urban beauty. Since she was in love, she would not refuse anything, so the two of them lived together. The first 2 months were fine. Although Chen Yarjing felt that Wan Yuan was elusive every day, she still had a great impression of him because of the heroic act of saving the beauty. Later, when Wan Yuan exposed himself intentionally or unintentionally, Chen Yarjing learned of Wan Yuan's identity. It turned out that he was from a mysterious organization of the country. From then on, Chen Yarjing understood Wan Yuan's elusiveness better. But just 2 years ago, Wan Yuan's temper became more and more weird. Sometimes when they were in bed, he would even make some unreasonable requests. To what extent were they unreasonable? Chen Yarjing thought she was very open-minded and could not accept that kind of behavior. The most bizarre thing was that Wan Yuan actually said that one of his colleagues also liked Chen Yarjing and asked if the three of them could be together. Chen Yarjing became famous at that time. What did he think of himself? From then on, Chen Yarjing began to refuse any request from Wan Yuan and even locked her bedroom door when she went to sleep. But Wan Yuan is a man after all, and he has excellent fighting skills. He forced Chen Yarjing several times in the past 2 years, until Chen Yarjing couldn't bear it anymore and broke up. What Chen Yarjing didn't expect was that Wan Yuan agreed so readily, but it was also a relief for Chen Yarjing. But just one day after they broke up, Wan Yuan actually called her to tell her something, right when she was at work. Wan Yuan said that he had a memory card with him, which contained videos of all the private things that happened between him and Chen Yarjing over the past few years, as well as many photos. Chen Yarjing didn't expect Wan Yuan to be so perverted. Wan Yuan had only one request, which was to play with him and one of his colleagues for a night. Although Chen Yarjing was not conservative, she would never allow such things to be leaked to the outside world. So she was struggling internally. This was the first time that her work was affected by her emotional affairs. She kept drinking, and when she was drunk, she saw Li Qian, who was so caring to her, and finally couldn't help but release all her recent depression. After hearing this, Li Qian felt a little annoyed. He didn't even think of searching Wan Yuan's body before leaving. He didn't know if he would be able to make it in time if he went now. Li Qian reached out and stroked Chen Yarjing's hair. After saying this, Chen Yarjing's mood had fallen to the lowest point. "Sister Yarjing, don't be sad. I promise you that Wan Yuan will never threaten you again. I will help you get those things back, okay?" Li Qian had never made a promise to anyone before, but today, even though he was not sure, he agreed. However, Li Qian's words did not cheer up Chen Yarjing. Instead, she looked at Li Qian with a wry smile and said, "No need. Wan Yuan is not someone you can mess with. My impulsiveness has already caused you trouble. I can handle this matter myself. Wan Yuan is from a mysterious national department. A commoner like Li Qian is no match for him. Sister Yarjing, wait for me for a moment, I'll go out and find those things for you now." Li Qian did not give Chen Yarjing a chance to refuse and ran directly outside. Even though Chen Yarjing called him for a long time from behind, he did not look back. Isn't it just a dragon soul? Even if he kills all the people of Dragon Soul, Li Qian will find that thing. Chapter 21. You must give me what I want. Boss, the scene has been fully surveyed. This is all the information we have collected. In a basement somewhere in Jiangju, more than a dozen people were busy coming and going. Many of them were seen wearing white gloves and holding transparent plastic bags in their hands. Jiu Yushin rushed to Jiangju almost as soon as possible, and she even used a helicopter for this purpose. But when she got here, the scene before her shocked her. Everyone died, and their deaths were extremely tragic. 6 of them were holding weapons, but they were all killed by a mysterious force without firing a single shot. The 6 men died in the same way, with their ribs broken and their hearts exploding. The remaining people had their arms torn off, their necks twisted, and their abdomens pierced, with their internal organs spilling all over the floor. Jiu Yushin had no idea how long it had been since she had seen such a brutal scene. Even when she had followed the organization to the African battlefield that year, it was still far less shocking than today's. Looking at the things in her hand, Jiu Yushin felt a headache. This was a slap in Long Hun's face. Taking a look at the silver armband on her arm, Jiu Yushin knew that this matter must be explained, no matter who it was. Boss, I found a memory card from someone, do you want to see it? At this moment, a Dragon Soul member came over again to report. Bring it here. After taking the memory card, Jiu Yushin inserted it into a machine next to her without any hesitation. She operated the touch screen and found several files inside. She opened one of them and found it was a bunch of photos. But after she took a look at the photo, she closed the page instantly, so that many people did not see what was displayed on the screen. Jiu Yushin basically doesn't need to read the following content. Has the surveillance been repaired? The surveillance is completely destroyed. It is difficult to repair it. A Dragon Soul member said in a low voice. It must be repaired, this is an order. Jiu Yushin said coldly. While these people were busy, no one noticed that a person was slowly approaching here. Li Qian has been here for a few minutes, and just now, he saw the memory card fall into the woman's hand. As long as there is a memory card, he must take it, without any reason, even if it means snatching it. Just when Jiu Yushin was feeling very upset, a voice suddenly came from behind him. I want the memory card in your hand. Give it to me. Who? Jiu Yushin turned around instantly and saw a person who was almost wrapped in darkness. As the man slowly approached, Jiu Yushin saw the man's face. A man of about 23 or 24, with an indescribably stern expression. The police are investigating the case. Unrelated people, please leave immediately. Jiu Yushin didn't hear clearly what Li Qian said, and thought he was just a passerby who came here unintentionally, so she said that irrelevant people should leave. When they usually do things, they always use the name of the police. After all, if you say you are Dragon Soul, ordinary people may have never heard of it. Give me the memory card in your hand, and I'll leave right away. What? Memory card? This time Jiu Yushin heard it clearly, and she subconsciously put her hands on her waist. This is a habit formed over many years. When Li Qian said that, she knew that what happened here must be related to the man in front of her, which means that this person is very dangerous. Did you kill the people here? Jiu Yushin was still relatively calm, but after seeing their boss like this, several other members of the Dragon Soul team around her also became highly alert. Many of them put their hands on their waists. These people were well trained and could draw their guns in a few tenths of a second and fire a bullet in 1 second. However, Li Qian looked at the scene in front of him coldly. There were only 7 or 8 members of Dragon Soul outside, all with black armbands on their arms, except for the woman. Although the black dragon armband is quite good, Li Qian never took it seriously. He dares to take on SS-level tasks alone, so these few people are nothing. I want the memory card in your hand. Li Qian did not admit it, but after he said this, it was no different from admitting it. Jiu Yushin wondered if she was hallucinating. It was the first time she heard someone threatening Dragon Soul. The man who killed Dragon Soul actually came here to threaten me. How arrogant is this man? After quietly winking at a few of his men, Jiu Yushin continued calmly, if you want me to give it to you, wouldn't that make me lose face? You must give me what I want. How much is your face worth? Jiu Yushin was choked by the ruthless counterattack and was speechless. Prepare. Suddenly, Jiu Yushin shouted, and then she heard 7 or 8 people pulling out guns from their waists at the same time. These people loaded the guns and fired without any hesitation, all within 1 second. Jiu Yushin no longer wanted to waste time with this man and wanted to resolve the issue first, because she always had a sense of danger in her heart, and that feeling came from the man in front of her. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sound of a pistol equipped with a silencer was not very loud, but after more than a dozen shots were fired in succession, the scene in front of them left everyone dumbfounded. The man disappeared from the spot almost instantly, and was replaced by his boss, who was actually caught by the other party. Li Qian tightly pinched Jiu Yushin's neck with his right hand, showing no mercy at all because she was a beauty. Jiu Yushin's face turned red at this moment, but she was horrified in her heart. The owner of the Silver Dragon armband and a core member of Dragon Soul was completely unable to fight back and was captured alive. Just now, Jiu Yushin didn't even see how the man came over. If Jiu Yushin had come here an hour ago, there is no doubt that Li Qian would have broken her neck. However, this time Li Qian was not overly stimulated and did not go into a rampage. Naturally, he had no intention of killing these people. Just as he grabbed Jiu Yushin, Li Qian's other hand had already reached into the computer next to him and directly grabbed the memory card. After getting what he wanted, Li Qian let go of Jiyu Yushin without hesitation and walked forward. As he was about to leave, several Dragon Soul members could not help it and were about to chase after her when Jiyu Yushin made a gesture. Everyone, come back and clean up the scene as soon as possible. All the dead have been buried. This matter is over now. Chapter 22. The Big Devil is back. Jiyu Yushin was scared. Why? Because she recognized this man at the last moment. This matter dates back to a year ago, when Long Hun received a mission to escort an important person to Africa, which required crossing a large desert. The owner of the Dragon Soul's Silver Dragon Armband and the two owners of the Gold Dragon Armbands all disguised themselves as owners of Black Dragon Armbands. The purpose was not to attract too much attention. Otherwise, when the enemy saw such a large formation, even a fool would know that they were protecting an important figure. But the group was unlucky as they encountered a fight between two groups of people on the way. They thought they were enemies and became alert. In the end, a team called Sirius Squad won. However, because there were people from their side nearby, the Sirius Squad thought they were enemies. Both sides fired several shots. Although no one was killed, several people on their side were injured. Jiyu Yushin participated in the battle that time. It was the first time she discovered that the foreign mercenary team was so powerful. After all, she was an owner of a Silver Dragon Armband, but she was able to fight a draw with the ordinary soldiers there. Maybe it's not a draw yet, the other party gave in deliberately because he saw that she was a woman. Of course, it was finally discovered that it was a misunderstanding, and Jiyu Yushin also found out that the Qianlang team was composed entirely of Chinese people. She vaguely remembered that the big guy chatted with the leader of the Sirius team for a while. After she returned to China, the matter was kept strictly confidential by her superiors, but she was a core member of Dragon Soul after all, and eventually she learned some inside information. The captain of the Sirius Squad is a 24-year-old man whose name is unknown, but his nickname strikes fear into the hearts of all mercenary teams. The Devil, a real big devil. After reading the other party's resume, Jiyu Yushin felt that the information was made up. How could someone reach that level of ability? He single-handedly charged into a mercenary team of more than 30 people and not only wiped out all the opponents, but also remained unharmed. There are a total of 11 SS-level missions on the international killer list so far, but only 3 missions have been taken up, 2 of which were taken up by the Sirius Squad, and the other was taken up by the world's largest mercenary team. As a result, nearly 500 people were sent, but still failed. In other words, in this world, there is no one else who can complete the SS-level mission except the Sirius team. No, to be specific, there is no one else except the Demon King. Next to the resume, there was a photo. The man in the photo had a gentle smile. No matter who it was impossible to associate him with the devil who killed people without blinking an eye. But today Jiyu Yushin believed it. The man just now looked exactly like the man in the photo. The only difference was his aura. When talking to him, no matter who it is, no one can raise a tone of resistance and will subconsciously obey his orders. Jiyu Yushin was in that state just now. It was the first time that she was shocked by someone simply by his aura. So, she decisively gave the order not to pursue. Just kidding, if she angered this big devil, these dozen people would have to die here today. Jiyu Yushin had no doubt at all that the man definitely had this ability. Now she just wanted to go to Yangjing as soon as possible, report the matter, and let everyone know that the big devil is back. Sister Yarjing, I'm back. Standing at the door, Li Qian smiled at Chen Yarjing. During the more than half an hour since Li Qian left, Chen Yarjing had been blaming herself. She regretted that she should not have said so much to Li Qian. After all, Li Qian was young and energetic and could easily become impulsive. Look, when Li Qian's voice came, she almost ran to his side and threw herself tightly into his arms. The two didn't speak, but everything was obvious at this point. Especially when Li Qian placed a memory card in front of her. At that moment, Chen Yarjing felt that her whole body and mind were captured by Li Qian. At that moment, she was willing to be Li Qian's slave. At that moment, she was willing to do anything for Li Qian. Okay, you're still crying at this age, Sister Yarjing, why don't we sit down and take a look at the contents here? I'm very interested in these things. Li Qian smiled at Chen Yarjing, no longer having the cold expression he had when facing Jiyu Yushin just now. When Chen Yarjing heard Li Qian say this, she felt so ashamed that she immediately snatched the memory card from Li Qian and ran to her room. But before she left, she said, "Humph, you men are all like this, perverts." After returning to her room, Chen Yarjing immediately inserted the memory card into her computer. She wanted to confirm it. When she saw the contents of the memory card, her eyes became moist. Li Qian actually got the things back. She really didn't dare to imagine it before, she was even prepared to be humiliated. But all this happiness came so suddenly. Li Qian's smile appeared out of nowhere in her mind, lingering for a long time and could never be shaken off. "My enemy, my life has been ruined by you. Sister Yarjing, please rest for a while. I have to go back." Seeing that Chen Yarjing had not come out for a long time, Li Qian could only shout at the door. As soon as Chen Yarjing heard that Li Qian was going back, she opened the door immediately. "Why do you want to go back so suddenly? It's already past 5 o'clock. Can't we wait a little longer and then go to work together after we have dinner?" To be honest, Chen Yarjing really hopes that Li Qian can be with her now. Our work starts at 9 o'clock, and I still need to go back and get some sleep. Li Qian touched his head and said something awkwardly. "Can't I sleep here at my sister's place?" After Chen Yarjing said this, even she was scared. When did she become so bold? "I'm afraid that won't work. I haven't been home all night, and my wife must be worried." In fact, Li Qian was not afraid that Lin Yi would be anxious. Even if he didn't go back, she probably wouldn't be anxious. It's just that he felt a little awkward here now. After all, he and Chen Yarjing were a single man and a single woman. After hearing Li Qian's words, Chen Yarjing's face suddenly turned pale. "Are you married?" Chapter 23 Meddlesome. After hearing Li Qian say that he was already married, Chen Yarjing let him go. At this time, Li Qian did not explain too much. He let Chen Yarjing run to her room and slammed the door shut. It was almost dawn. After Li Qian left the apartment, he headed towards the villa immediately. At his speed, it would take him about 15 minutes to get there. It wasn't too far, but it wasn't close either. What happened that night changed Li Qian. In the past, he could pretend to be the son of the Li family and act crazy and stupid outside, eating and drinking for free. But after what happened last night, his identity could no longer be hidden. Although it was not known to everyone, some important people would still know it. After Li Qian returned to China, he had always done a good job of keeping secrets. If the memory card incident had not happened last night, Li Qian would have been able to erase all traces. However, things eventually developed in a direction he had not expected. Li Qian still had some vague impression of the woman he caught, as if he had seen her a year ago. When Li Qian returned to the villa, the first thing he saw was Lin Yi sitting in the living room eating breakfast. "It's only 5:30, how can she get up so early?" Lin Yi was wearing a sports outfit today. She lacked maturity but had the gentleness of a girl next door. But after she started speaking, that so-called gentleness disappeared instantly. "Auntie Wang, I'm done eating. I'm going out for a while." Still cold, it formed a sharp contrast with Li Qian's feeling just now. Lin Yi pulled up the hat on the back and put it on his head, then walked outside. When she passed by Li Qian, she didn't even look at him twice. As they passed each other, Li Qian didn't know what he felt at that moment. Sure enough, after what happened yesterday, the two returned to the scene of their first day of marriage. "You see, I don't have any feelings for you, and I don't have any thoughts about you." "Good morning, Madam Wang." After coming in, Li Qian greeted. "Good morning, uncle." Aunt Wang still spoke to Li Qian with a smile on her face. Even though she waited for him until 12 o'clock last night, Wang Ma never complained. This is a nanny's duty, and complaining to the owner is never a good thing. "Son-in-law, would you like to have some breakfast?" "I'll make some for you." Mother Wang didn't know that Li Qian would come back at this time, so she did less. "It's okay. I won't eat. I haven't rested all night. I'm going to sleep first. When I get up around 8 o'clock, I can go out and eat something by myself." Li Qian really didn't want to eat anything now. What happened a few hours ago made him feel uncomfortable. He had been living a dull life for more than 10 days, and when he suddenly saw blood, he even felt like vomiting. Because of this, he secretly laughed at himself. This was not the emotion a demon king should have. "By the way, what is she doing up so early?" Before going up the stairs, Li Qian turned around and asked. "Son-in-law, maybe you don't know, today is the anniversary of the young lady's grandfather's death. Every year on this day, she would get up very early and run over there from home. Death anniversary. After hearing this, Li Qian suddenly felt touched. He was a child that neither his parents wanted. Perhaps there were only two people who treated him well, one was his grandfather, and the other was his aunt. At this moment, Li Qian felt that he was no longer sleepy. After asking Wang Ma about the location of the cemetery, he immediately started running towards there. The distance is not very far, otherwise Lin Yi would not choose to walk. It is obvious that this cemetery is specially prepared for the rich. The surrounding environment is particularly good, and there are special maintenance staff. Li Qian could see Lin Yi's lonely figure from a long distance. After all, it was impossible for there to be anyone in the cemetery at such an early time. The morning breeze was cool. Li Qian stood not far away, watching the scene in front of him. Lin Yi didn't bring much, just a fruit basket and a bouquet of flowers, which were obviously prepared yesterday. At this moment, she was squatting slightly in front of the tombstone, her eyes extremely clear. "Grandpa, Xiaoyi is here to see you again. Are you doing well over there?" Lin Yi was talking to herself, perhaps only here, at this moment, would she reveal the softest part of her heart. "I have good news for you, Grandpa. Xiaoyi is married. My husband is a very good man and loves Xiaoyi very much. It's a pity that it's too early today and he is still sleeping. Otherwise, Xiaoyi would definitely bring him to meet you. Now that Xiaoyi has grown up, Grandpa no longer needs to come to see me secretly and give me gifts." Thinking about it now, Xiaoyi still feels that she was so happy when she was a child. "I think my husband must have been given to Xiaoyi by Grandpa, right?" Grandpa was afraid that Xiaoyi would be lonely and bullied. Lin Yi's voice was very soft, but Li Qian heard everything in his heart. The relationship between him and Lin Yi was definitely not what he had told her. Even Li Qian had never heard Lin Yi call him husband so naturally. But since Lin Yi said so, Li Qian would not expose it. After waiting for about half an hour, Lin Yi seemed to have vented his emotions and was ready to leave. Lin Yi knew very well that today was her grandfather's death anniversary, so her mother would definitely come here as well. She didn't want to run into others, so she had to come very early every day. But just as she was about to leave, she saw a figure beside her. The man had a smile on his face and was staring at her. Lin Yi felt a little guilty when she saw the man, but she thought that they were probably very far away from each other, and she spoke in a low voice, so no one should hear her. So, Lin Yi walked towards Li Qian with this thought in mind. Well, she had no intention of talking to Li Qian, but this road was the only way she had to take. "But, wife, what you just said is so true. It turns out that I have so many advantages. As expected, you are the only one in the world who understands me. Even I don't understand myself." Li Qian chuckled, without noticing that Lin Yi's face had already turned dark. This was the case on the surface, but Lin Yi was still very embarrassed in her heart. She didn't expect that what she just said was heard by him. "Have a finger in the pie." In the end, Lin Yi gritted her teeth and said these four words. Does this have anything to do with meddling?" Li Qian was a little confused by what Lin Yi said. In fact, Lin Yi just wanted to ease the embarrassment. With her personality, how could she give in front of Li Qian? So she could only say that Li Qian was meddling in other people's business. "Who told you to come here for no reason?" Lin Yi didn't answer and just walked past Li Qian. Li Qian felt helpless when he saw this, but it was not in his character to give in so soon. So he immediately ran over and put his arm around Lin Yi's shoulders from behind. "Well, that's it. Since we are husband and wife, it's okay to take a walk together. Yes, just don't move your shoulders. I'll do it. Why are you walking out all the time? Towards me, yes, yes." Chapter 24. Keep your distance. Lin Yi was like a child, so nervous that she didn't even know where to put her hands. It was also today that Li Qian discovered another side of Lin Yi. Of course, Li Qian didn't do anything excessive. He just put his arm around her shoulders. If he did something else, there was no doubt that Lin Yi would get angry on the spot. The two walked for 5 or 6 minutes before Lin Yi finally did as Li Qian said, and they walked side by side, with Li Qian gently holding her shoulders from behind. Lin Yixio frowned slightly. There was one thing she couldn't understand, which was why men and women liked this. But when Li Qian placed his warm hands on her shoulders, she gradually understood something. It gives people an indescribable feeling, which may be what others call a sense of security. The two of them really didn't have much in common, so after the first few minutes, there was only silence between them. After walking for a while, Lin Yi seemed to have thought of something, and said while looking ahead, "If you don't come back at night, can you give Aunt Wan a call? She is old, and it's not good for her to keep waiting for you." After hearing Lin Yi's words, Li Qian was a little puzzled. Could it be that? Thinking of this, Li Qian felt a little guilty. At this time, Lin Yi continued, "If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. I'm just making a suggestion." Lin Yi knew very well that she had no right to make any suggestions on Li Qian's life, just as Li Qian had no right to speak over her. Moreover, Li Qian is the eldest son of the Li family. It is not a big deal to let a nanny wait for meals. Lin Yi doesn't want Li Qian to have other ideas because of these trivial matters. I see. I was inconsiderate last night and I didn't remember Wang Ma's phone number. How about this? I'll apologize to Wang Ma when I get back. How about that? After thinking for a moment, Li Qian said very seriously. Lin Yi was indeed a little surprised. Li Qian not only agreed, but also promised to apologize to Wang Ma later. Even if it was her, Lin Yi, she would probably at most feel guilty if she encountered such a thing, and would never apologize to anyone specifically. Lin Yi replied calmly, but at this moment she had other ideas in her mind. Is this man really that easy to get along with? But why do I always feel uncomfortable? Is it because I subconsciously resist this man? Should I give him a chance and also give myself a chance? Move into my room tonight. Lin Yi mustered up the courage to say these words. This also means that she has begun to try to accept this marriage. What? Li Qian looked at Lin Yi in surprise, wondering if he had just heard it wrong. She asked him to move into her room at night. Li Qian admitted that no man would be able to resist a woman like Lin Yi, so he agreed without even thinking about it. After saying this, the two ran out of topics again. Li Qian felt the same way. He was usually very talkative, so why couldn't he open his mouth in front of Lin Yi? To other women, Li Qian could tell them some jokes or some dirty jokes he saw on the internet, but in front of Lin Yi, he couldn't say any of these words. It's not because of anything else, but because Lin Yi seems to have no sense of humor. If you tell her, she will only respond with 2 words: boring. After returning home, Li Qingjin apologized to Wang Ma and promised that this situation would never happen again and that he must return home before 10 o'clock. If I don't go home one day, I will call before 10 o'clock and ask for Wang Ma's phone number. Of course, Li Qian also took the opportunity to ask for Lin Yi's number, saying that if Wang Ma's phone ran out of battery or she didn't hear it, he would call Lin Yi. Since they were already husband and wife, Lin Yi would not be stingy with a phone number and gave it directly to Li Qian. I have to go to work and bring breakfast to my colleagues at the company. After eating a few bites at home, Li Qian said to Lin Yi. But afterwards he said to Lin Yi, together. What he meant was whether they should go to work together. Although Li Qian didn't know where Lin Yi's company was, they must have passed by the alley where breakfast was sold, because there was only one road in front of the villa, and the other side led to Jiangju City. Lin Yi's company would definitely not be there. You go first. I need to prepare some things before going to the company. Lin Yi refused, she really had something else to do. Of course, Li Qian didn't think much about it and just left. Breakfast is coming. Mine. And mine. Li Qian had just entered the office and was surrounded before he could finish his sentence. Then Li Qian felt countless hands grabbing around in front of him, and a whole box of breakfast disappeared in just a few tens of seconds. The only thing Li Qian was thankful for was that he had eaten at home in the morning. Xu Qingqing quietly came to Li Qian, and then asked mysteriously, Brother Qian, how did you and Sister Yarjing get along last night? What? Don't pretend. Didn't you send her back last night? Yeah, what does that matter? Didn't anything happen between you? Sister Yarjing was drunk at the time. When Xu Qingqing said this, there was a matter-of-fact expression on her face. Li Qian thought, you guessed it right, I was pushed back last night, but I can't say this even if you kill me. What are you thinking about? After I sent her home last night, I went home too. After saying that, he did not forget to tap Xu Qingqing on the forehead, signaling her to go eat her breakfast. After sending Xu Qingqing away, Li Qian immediately looked towards Chen Yarjing. She was the only one in the office who did not get breakfast today. Li Qian took out a breakfast from behind him as if by magic and placed it in front of Chen Yarjing. But Chen Yarjing seemed not to see it and was busy with the things in her hands. However, Li Qian could see some problems from her somewhat flustered hands. Sister Yarjing, what's wrong with you? No, it's okay. Go to your seat and don't get so close to me. This distance is also called close. Li Qian is now standing 1 meter away from her, okay? It was fine when they moved the chairs together before. Sister Yarjing, don't you want to see me? What happened last night? Nothing happened last night. You sent me home and then left. Let's keep our distance from now on, okay? Chapter 25 An accident in the restaurant. Li Qian knew the reason why Chen Yarjing deliberately avoided him, it was because he was already married. Li Qian also understood a little about Chen Yarjing's thoughts, but now was not the time to explain, and he didn't know how to explain. And just like that, it was noon. This is the first time Li Qian has been in the company at noon since he started working. Naturally, lunch will be eaten in the company cafeteria. After all, Allure International is a large company with hundreds of employees, so it must have a restaurant, and it's not a small one. The restaurant covers an area of more than 200 square meters, which is half the area of a floor of Hongmao building. The restaurant offers dishes of various flavors, and at mealtime, the entire restaurant is crowded with people coming and going. Meals are free, just come with your work ID. It has to be said that Li Qian has been to restaurants in many places, and the restaurant at Qingcheng International seems to him to be the most tasteful. Most of them are semi-private rooms with a very warm decoration. Seeing such a restaurant makes you feel hungry. In addition, most of the people in Qingcheng International are young people, so the restaurant is always packed with people at noon every day. There are beautiful ladies dressed in exquisite clothes and handsome men dressed in stylish clothes. At Qingcheng International, even the CEO will come to the restaurant to eat. In the entire restaurant, there is only one formal private room, which is reserved for the president of Qingcheng International. Normally, no one can enter it. Of course, Li Qian thought to himself, that woman Su Xiaye must have been in there. The public relations department had 3 tables to themselves, and everyone went there to buy their favorite food and sit together to chat. Intentionally or unintentionally, Li Qian chose to sit next to Chen Yarjing. Chen Yarjing couldn't ask to change seats in front of so many people, so she could only keep her head down and eat. But just when everyone was halfway through their meal, a man suddenly came over with a bouquet of flowers in his hand. Li Qian was a little puzzled when he saw the man walking towards him, but he understood the next moment. Yarjing, this is a gift from me. Do you like it? The man actually handed a bouquet of flowers directly to Chen Yarjing. Chen Yarjing, who was eating with her head down, had to raise her head. Well. Li Qian felt very surprised. Damn, this is my man, okay? How dare you interfere? It is obvious that this man likes Chen Yarjing and he must have done this kind of thing many times before. Sure enough, the next moment, their whole restaurant became lively. So he's the new head of the propaganda department. He's young, rich, and handsome. If I were Chen Yarjing, I would definitely throw myself into his arms. Yes, Pan Ziming is really a rare dream man, so gentle. If I remember correctly, this is the 5th time he has sent flowers to Chen Yarjing, right? That's right, Chen Yarjing is so ungrateful. Our Ziming treats her so well, why doesn't she express her feelings quickly? Of course, these words were not said by the people in the public relations department, because everyone in the public relations department seemed to know that Chen Yarjing had a boyfriend outside. These people are looking at Pan Ziming with contempt. She already has a boyfriend, so why are you here? Chen Yarjing was very embarrassed, but when she saw Li Qian with a stern face, for some reason, she suddenly felt a little happy in her heart. So, she pushed the flowers away with both hands, and then said, Minister Pan, I'm sorry, I appreciate your kindness, but I already have a boyfriend, so it's not appropriate to accept flowers from others. Chen Yarjing has a boyfriend, and perhaps Pan Ziming already knows that. After all, he is pursuing a girl, so how could he not ask clearly whether she is single? Pan Ziming felt very embarrassed after being treated like this by Chen Yarjing, but he was a man who cared a lot about his reputation, so how could he possibly take back something he had given away? Har har, Yarjing, this bouquet of flowers has no special meaning. I just want to give you a gift. Pan Ziming would naturally not say in front of so many people that I want to steal your girlfriend, so you should dump your so-called boyfriend right away. He has a normal IQ and knows how much trouble these words will bring him. Yo, you keep calling me Yarjin. Are you two on good terms? Li Qian next to him couldn't help it. Pan Ziming was at most more handsome than him, but was he richer than him? You must be kidding. I still have 500,000 yuan in my card, although the money was given by my father-in-law. When Li Qian spoke, not only did Chen Yarjing stop talking, but everyone in the public relations department was dumbfounded. Only Xu Qingqing looked at Li Qian with a matter-of-fact expression, and secretly clenched her pink fist to cheer Li Qian on. Pan Ziming was already in a bad mood, and when he heard these words, he suddenly became unhappy. Who are you? I am a minister after all, and you, an employee, dare to interrupt me. Who is this? I'm the assistant of the PR department, my name is Li Qian. I forgot to tell you, I'm actually Yarjing's boyfriend too. While introducing himself, Li Qian put his hand on Chen Yarjing's shoulder, and the two of them were half hugging each other. After Li Qian said this, countless people were shocked and couldn't close their mouths, especially those in the public relations department. Everyone seemed to have discovered a new world. No wonder Li Qian had such a good relationship with Chen Yarjing on the first day he joined the company. It turned out that he was Chen Yarjing's boyfriend and came to this company specifically to find a job. You don't believe it? Then look for yourself. Chen Yarjing didn't resist at all. Could she let someone who wasn't her boyfriend hug her? So it's an assistant. My name is Pan Ziming, and I'm the head of the propaganda department. Pan Ziming ignored the fact that Li Qian was Chen Yarjing's boyfriend. On the surface, he was introducing himself, but in fact, he was saying, I'm the director. How dare you, an assistant, come and snatch my woman? Do you believe that if you make me angry, I'll make things difficult for you? Pan Ziming? I don't know him. You? But Yarjing is my girlfriend. Please don't harass her anymore. Otherwise, I'll be jealous. I'm also a violent person. If I do something impulsive, I'm afraid you, Minister Pan, will feel bad. If you threaten me, I will threaten you back. While holding Chen Yarjing tightly in his arms, Li Qian spoke to Pan Ziming with great contempt. You? Pan Ziming looked extremely angry, but he couldn't say anything. Just at this moment, someone shouted, the president is here. This one sentence immediately made Pan Ziming feel the dawn of hope. How dare you threaten me? Well, wait for me to tell the president and see if you can still survive in the company. Chapter 26. Is she your girlfriend? As usual, Lin Yi waited until most of the restaurant staff had finished eating before approaching the restaurant. She likes to eat by herself in the private room and doesn't want to make the employees feel restrained because of her. But when she came today, she found that the entire restaurant was extremely crowded. Normally, most people should have left by now. Just at this moment, a man walked towards her. She knew this man, who was the newly promoted director of the propaganda department. He was very capable and had good personal abilities at a young age. Lin Yi planned to train him. Pan Ziming came to Lin Yi and immediately became cautious. Even though Lin Yi was extremely beautiful, no man in the entire company dared to blaspheme the president. Some people didn't believe it and thought they could attract the president's attention, but the next day they heard that he was fired. Yes, Lin Yi will not bring personal feelings into work, but she also does not need a proud and overconfident employee. Want to chase me? Sure, just leave your post first. It is precisely because of this that basically no one dares to have any ideas about Lin Yi, especially the company's employees. Are you kidding? You lose your job if you say something wrong. Are there such stupid people in the world? President. Well, what's going on? Why is the restaurant so noisy? Lin Yi asked with a frown. When Pan Ziming saw this, he was delighted, knowing that his CEO was angry. Boss, this is what happened. An assistant from the PR department threatened to beat me up. The words were not finished, but the effect was maximized. Lin Yi frowned even more after hearing this. An assistant threatened the director. How could such a person enter the company? Go and have a look. Li Qian was comforting Chen Yarjing, telling her not to worry, that he would not be afraid even if the president came. Chen Yarjing didn't say anything on the surface, but she was deeply moved in her heart. Just at this moment, a voice came from the side. President, it's him. He's the assistant in the public relations department. Everyone present heard what he said to threaten me just now. Pan Ziming looked like a child who had successfully dragged his parents over after a fight. He was looking at Li Qian and Chen Yarjing with the attitude of a winner. He thought that Li Qian would definitely lose his job this time because Lin Yi had always been like this. If Chen Yarjing's boyfriend lost his job, would Chen Yarjing still like him? In fact, Pan Ziming was right. Lin Yi really wanted to verify it. If it was true, she would fire the employee without hesitation. But when she walked into the crowd, she was suddenly stunned. Not only was she stunned, but even Li Qian himself was stunned. What's going on? Why is she here? Could it be that he found out where I work and wanted to force me to work as a security guard there? Just as the two were silent, Chen Yarjing saw her president coming and hurried over. She wanted to explain that Li Qian had argued with Pan Ziming because of her, and hoped that the president could forgive him this time. After all, their current jobs are very good, and it would be a pity to lose them. Boss, my boyfriend Li Qian had an argument with Minister Pan because of me. Minister Pan kept sending me flowers, and my boyfriend got jealous, so. As soon as Chen Yarjing finished speaking, she felt as if the air around her was solidifying. Li Qian was really embarrassed at this time. When he heard Chen Yarjing calling Lin Yi president, he suddenly understood. Damn, the job I worked so hard to find turns out to be in my wife's company. Also, what's going on? Saying that another woman is your girlfriend in front of your wife. Oh my god, Li Qian felt that he must not have checked the almanac before going out today. How could these two completely unrelated things happen to him? What should I say next? Looking at Lin Yi's attitude, she will definitely make a scene when she gets home. Admit that he is Chen Yarjing's boyfriend. Then he is done. Don't admit it. Then Chen Yarjing would be sad, and I would still be finished. No matter how you look at it, it's a dead end. Even though Li Qian is a veteran, he is still confused at this moment and doesn't know how to explain it. She's your girlfriend. Lin Yi did not answer Chen Yarjing's question, but asked Li Qian instead. In one sentence, Li Qian was forced into a desperate situation. Finally, Li Qian gritted his teeth and made up his mind. Yes. When he said this word, Li Qian shouted in his heart, Yarjing, remember to burn some paper money for me during the festivals in the future. I have offended someone I shouldn't have offended. Sure enough, when Li Qian said this, he could clearly see Lin Yi's body tremble. Although she recovered quickly, I believe she must have felt bad at that moment. After all, even if she has no feelings for me, it still makes me seem shameless to say such things. Li Qian is very accurate in understanding a person's psychology. This is what Lin Yi was thinking at the moment. She felt it was ridiculous that her husband admitted in front of so many people that another woman was his girlfriend. Is there such a ridiculous thing in the world? Li Qian, it seems that this is your true self. Everything before was just an act. Minister Pan, Yarjing has a girlfriend, why are you still pestering her? Suddenly, Lin Yi changed the subject and pointed directly at Pan Ziming. Pan Ziming was dumbfounded. The script shouldn't have been like this. Was President Lin very angry and directly fired Li Qian? Boss, I don't know. Nonsense, CEO. He has known all along, but he still keeps pestering Yarjing. Today, Brother Chen couldn't stand it anymore, so he stepped forward and admitted his identity. In fact, Brother Chen and Sister Yarjing have been together for a long time. Xu Qingqing showed her loyal side at this time and decisively chose to stand on Chen Yarjing's side. Li Qian was so sad that he wanted to cry but had no tears. How come my brother has been with her for a long time? If you don't speak, no one will think you are dumb. Xu Qingqing's words became the turning point of the whole incident. Lin Yi looked at the reactions of everyone in the public relations department and guessed about 70% of it. Minister Pan, go back and write a report for me. Report? What report? It must be a resignation report. Lin Yi really doesn't like people who try to poach someone even though they know the other person has a boyfriend. Even if you have the ability, people with this kind of character are not worthy of joining the company. Boss, You two, come with me to the office. Lin Yi ignored Pan Ziming's words, turned around and said something to Li Qian and Chen Yarjing. Chapter 27 Lin Yi's Ultimatum. Li Qian and Chen Yarjing looked at each other. It was obvious that Chen Yarjing didn't quite understand what Lin Yi said, but Li Qian knew it very well. My trouble is coming, and I don't know if I can get out of it alive. As for Pan Ziming, an employee who had been dismissed by the president, no one would be around him anymore, so he could only leave in disgrace. However, before leaving, he gave Li Qian a very vicious look, but Li Qian did not take it to heart. Well, this kind of person is not qualified. Let's go. The president must still be angry. When you get there, be nicer and explain yourself carefully. I guess the president won't make things difficult for you. Chen Yarjing was still persuading Li Qian. Xu Qingqing's reaction was more direct. When she heard that the president did not punish Li Qian but fired Pan Ziming instead, she immediately jumped up and exclaimed that the president was wise. Smart? Smartass, I'm her husband, you can't fire me. Li Qian regrets it now. If he had known that this company belonged to Lin Yi, he would never have come here to work. Now it's too late. Well, my stomach feels uncomfortable. I need to go to the toilet first. Sister Yarjing, how about you go to the office first? Li Qian decisively started to act like a rogue, because he believed that if he went there, the ending would be very tragic. Although Chen Yarjing didn't know why Li Qian did this, she knew one thing, that it might not be appropriate for her to go alone. No, you go first, I'll wait for you to come back. Forget it, I suddenly don't want to go. You still don't want to go with someone like this? It is obvious that Chen Yarjing still doesn't know that Li Qian did it on purpose. Well, I just held it back suddenly. Puff. Chen Yarjing didn't laugh, but Xu Qingqing couldn't help laughing. Perhaps Chen Yarjing, as the person involved, did not see it clearly, but Xu Qingqing was always beside him. She could see Li Qian's daze at the moment when he saw Lin Yi, and Li Qian's obviously perfunctory expression just now. What are you laughing at? Go to the office and work. Chen Yarjing said something angrily and scolded Xu Qingqing away. In fact, she was quite happy about Xu Qingqing's impulsiveness just now. At least those who dared to stand up at that time were all true friends. Li Qian had already prepared for various ways of dying, but when the two of them arrived at Lin Yi's office, Lin Yi acted as if nothing had happened. Lin Yi began to apologize to Chen Yarjing, saying that the company did not pass the assessment when recruiting, and allowed people with such character to join in, causing trouble to her life. Then he revealed, intentionally or unintentionally, that the position of propaganda minister was currently vacant and that Chen Yarjing had performed well. It is obvious that he wants to support Chen Yarjing to this position after a period of time. Li Qian felt a little dizzy. Why didn't Lin Yi retaliate, but instead wanted to give Chen Yarjing a promotion and a raise? The script was wrong. There must be something wrong with the way he opened it. But suddenly, Li Qian seemed to think of something. He glanced at Lin Yi, whose expression remained unchanged for thousands of years, and sighed, women are all scheming bitches. Lin Yi did this probably for only one purpose, and that is to transfer Chen Yarjing out of the public relations department. Chen Yarjing obviously saw it, but she couldn't say anything because on the surface this matter was very beneficial to her. But Chen Yarjing was also a little puzzled. Even though Lin Yi was a little angry with Li Qian, she would not be transferred out of the public relations department. Was it wrong for her to be with her boyfriend? Maybe she would be more efficient this way. But she obviously didn't know the most important question: is Li Qian his boyfriend? Even if he is, Lin Yi is still his wife. From beginning to end, Lin Yi did not say a single word to Li Qian. After she finished her concern, Lin Yi asked Chen Yarjing to go back to work. When Li Qian was about to breathe a sigh of relief, Lin Yi suddenly said, Li Qian, stay. I have something to ask you about our company's products. There is only one man in the public relations department. Lin Yi heard Su Xiaoye talk about this matter a few days ago. There is no doubt that the one who gave suggestions to the company must be Li Qian. Well, Li Qian originally wanted to say that he really didn't have any suggestions, and that everything he said before was nonsense. But Chen Yarjing gave him a look, which seemed to encourage him to perform well. Big sister, you are sending me into a dangerous situation. Chen Yarjing really thought so, so she hurried out and did not forget to close the office door before leaving. Okay, I'll face it alone and see what you can do to me. Turning around, he looked at Lin Yi. I don't know when, Lin Yi had already opened the information at hand and started reading it. This person doesn't look like a problematic person at all. Should you explain this to me? Lin Yi lowered her head and looked at the documents, and suddenly said something. Here it comes, it's here as expected. Li Qian thought to himself that if he couldn't explain this matter clearly, Lin Yi would kill herself with a knife in the office. After all, if this matter got out, she would probably lose face. That. Li Qian also came to Lin Yi, but after thinking for a long time, he didn't know how to say it. Honey, are your shoulders sore? Can I rub them for you? Li Qian immediately changed his expression. How could he describe that face? A villain, a very villain. Lin Yi didn't react until she felt a pair of hands on her shoulders. She really felt that Li Qian was too good at playing rogue and she couldn't even vent her anger. Well, this massage technique is still okay. I'm a little tired after working for a whole morning. Li Qian saw Lin Yi starting to enjoy herself and secretly said, that was a close call. Fortunately, he was smart and managed to divert Lin Yi's attention. Although this is a bit tiring, it's nothing. However, after Li Qian had been massaging for more than 10 minutes, Lin Yi suddenly said, Li Qian, you are quite capable. You found a girlfriend outside without making any noise. If someone else said this, it would definitely be a compliment to you, but if your wife said it, huh? Lin Yi brought up the matter again, and Li Qian shouted that it was unfair. I have been serving you for more than 10 minutes just now. Didn't we say that this matter is over? How could you do this? That's fine. Li Qian responded very awkwardly. Not bad. How can this be called not bad? This is simply too good. Lin Yi said it calmly, but her tone was full of sarcasm. After all, Li Qian was in the wrong, so whatever Lin Yi said was not excessive. So he could only bear it silently. As for the real relationship between him and Chen Yarjing, they had already done that. If Li Qian tried to distance himself from it, it would be a cruel act. I want to ask you something about this matter. Are you going to live with me or with her from now on?